In the heart of the town, near the hearth, a murmur is beginning to go through the crowd. There are torches lit, narrow spans of coppery light pouring out through the alleys of the street. Screams at the edge of the town have begun, and they're beginning to spread throughout the homes and the buildings closer toward the hearth itself. Animals shift, moving uneasily.
Who all is there, Chris?
At the hearth, those of you who had gathered, I believe we have, unless I'm mistaken, it should be Casey. Peach is there. You have Esmond and Araya. You know that Mayor's assistant, Parsnip, is there, but the mayor himself has not been seen. Sheriff Hayne had left the day before, at least. Salinger, taking a horse to go find him. You know that Ava's back at the Physiker. Kibeth, Shalati, you haven't seen them since Casey parted ways with them some hours ago.
Okay, shit. Out of character, Chris. Is there a watchtower or a bell tower? Something that we can ring to warn the town?
The bells are already ringing.
Yeah, and you and I are at like the center of town, like we're running towards the hearth when we saw these lights popping off.
Yeah, you see blue flashes. They look a bit like Esmond's trick.
As what all is this? Is this the same thing that you can do?
I don't know.
You thought it might be like connected to that, like it attracted to the batteries. You got to do something. You got to pull it towards you, make something bigger.
You see people are starting to back towards the about half of the town is gathered at the hearth, and now you see people they're looking outward from the center, and they're starting to back towards the center of the town. You see someone climb up onto the hearth. Somebody falls down. One of their family members reaches down to help them up.
Shit. Let's. Peach, you head to the hearth. Go find my parents. Find Araya. Make sure they're okay. I'm gonna run to the Fisker. I'm gonna find Ava and Teridian, and we'll meet you there. Okay?
What do we do if these things, if they're the same type of zap you can do? How do we make them go out? What do we do? Fire on water?
I don't know.
How do we make them stop if they're electric?
If we can throw a source of water onto them, it could possibly discharge any electric buildup that they may have. If it's anything like what I am capable of doing, also potentially you could smother it with earth if you have enough of it. So water or earth. I'm hoping that Teridian has another tome available somewhere in there that can tell us how to draw them away, if anything. So I'm gonna go find him and Ava, and I'll meet you guys at the hearth. Okay?
Yeah. Peach would head off toward the hearth.
Okay, Salinger, you're at a full gallop on this borrowed horse, and the tall grass behind you is there are multiple trails converging toward you from behind. Ahead of you, you see the town, and you hear the beating of the horse hooves. You see a blue flash in the distance.
All right, don't panic, and he's patting the side of the horse, riding as fast as he can through the town, trying not to glance over his shoulder, knowing what's rolling, slithering, jiggling behind him.
I don't know. You hear the ringing of the town bells. You know that's a call of danger, or some sort of emergency that's happening. You're at the edge of town right now. Where do you want to go?
Well, everybody always heads to the center when there's trouble, so that's where I'll go.
All right. You turn the horse, pulling the reins to the left, and start galloping to the streets. Shalata, you can hear the sound of the bells. You're at the edge of the town. You were not able to find Agatha or Lycos, but you've gathered the rest of your siblings. You've managed to make your way from the Cadney Ranch, and you are on the eastern edge of town. You can hear the bells loudly, and you can see blue flashes in the light, mostly coming from the south, the edge of town.
What side is the south toward? Is it toward the ocean? Is it toward the ruins?
The ocean is on the north. It's really kind of canted, but to keep it simple, the ocean's on the north side. Cadney Ranch is southeast. The ruins are south. The dwarves are northwest.
He takes a deep breath and says, "One thing at a time has come. I guess it's now this thing at a time." And she looks around. I assume she's probably brought her siblings, some of the dogs, and a pack animal or two, and also probably a sacrificial animal to slaughter for food. And they're all just kind of like making a little herd on the road. Um, does it look like the flashes are heading into town?
Yeah, you see one blue pop, and then another, and it looks like it's moving inward.
Is there any place near? Oh no, they don't know. The
Ember looks at you and
just makes
says,
a calming just.
"Wh-
Yeah.
Where do we go?
Sorry,
Where do we
yeah.
go?"
She is going to look for the nearest barn or anything like that.
Still at the edge of town. There are some barns. You're still sort of at the edges of where the fields and the farms kind of become the heart of the town, I suppose. I don't know what the term would be. So there are still some barns in your area, but you know that you can hear the bells coming from the center of town.
Yeah. Actually, I think she's going to find an empty open space, like a crossroads or anything like that. Maybe if they're near the rocks that look like two people fighting, then she might post them
you're kind of near
up
there.
around there. And she's going to say, "Look, it seems like there's trouble in town or something heading toward there, and so I don't think we want to go bring everyone there, especially the babies." And she looks at the two youngest ones and says, "I'll leave the dogs with you." I'm turning to Sav again. She says, I will leave the dogs with you. But as you keep an eye on each other and on everyone else, your safety, I think, is in light and in space. Make sure that you don't see anything coming toward you. And you all have pans and clubs, yes?" And she looks at Ash and Ember and Zach. And
Yeah, Yev has a big shovel in his hand, and Ember pulls out a torch, and starts to spark some flint to try to light it up. Yev says, "Oh, you want us to stay in the field, are you sure?"
it seems better than bringing everyone. Actually, maybe Yev, come with me. The rest of you stay here. Buddy system, after all. And she nods at Yev and starts to break into a trot, heading toward the town after she's made sure that everyone's sort of in a circle, keeping an eye.
Yev says, "Okay, I'm with you." Ember says, "Okay, we will stay here. Be careful."
You too.
All right, so you leave behind the majority of your siblings, Yev with shovel in hand, following you. Beth, Shalati, where are you headed?
Toward the blue flashes.
Toward the blue flashes, okay.
I think she has a pan in one hand and her staff in the other.
Okay.
For quick reference, Chris, I dropped the family names back into my private chat again.
I have a list of them. Let me double check against yours just to make sure nothing's changed.
I gave them some nicknames, and I noted which ones are not in town. All of us with our big families.
I'm an only child, thank you very much.
Same.
It's because you're enough of a handful as you are.
No, that's why we need each other, Salinger. Nobody else understands.
Casey looks forlorn.
Never.
All right, looks good. So you have your siblings with you, but Kren, your father, you haven't made it to the blacksmith. He was not at the smithy. He had gone to do some chores. It seems like, or that's what Sasha, what's her short? Yeah, Sasha had said that he had left to go through.
But
so you haven't found him yet.
I have my 4 other siblings in tow.
You have Sasha, Tim Hessen now.
Are we like moving down the street?
Yeah, so you are in an alleyway, kind of between 2 buildings. You've seen flashes to the south. There are the town's bells are ringing, which definitely means danger, and you know that people are gathering there near the hearth. I think you were already aware of that. There are flashes coming from the south of you that you have seen. You haven't seen what the source of them is, and you know that people are farther to the north, near the hearth. Where do you want to go?
I think she's like, oh god, okay, everybody keep together. Don't fall behind. We have to get to the hearth. This way, come on. And she's taking him to the hearth still.
All right, yeah. So you guys go sliding out of that alleyway, and just as you do, somebody else, another townsperson, comes around the corner from an alleyway to the south. They kind of skid to a stop as some dust is thrown up under their feet, and they turn. They look at you with wide eyes. You see a blue flash and streak of lightning. You see one of the blue jellies sort of appear and strobe in the air, like appearing in different spots in the air, and the lightning hits this person. They start to convulse, lightning coursing through the body, and you can like see them illuminate from the inside for just a moment in blue. And they're just convulsing wildly as they stand there paralyzed in the street.
I immediately turn about heel, and I'm like, nope, go the way, run!
As you turn, running away from them, you see a blue flash illuminate the alleyway on either side of you, and you hear a scream behind you. But you keep running.
To be fair, I'm running at a pace that my siblings can keep up with. I'm not leaving.
I'm assuming you're all holding hands. You're like not human training. You're satyr training it.
You're fleeing like the Von Traps.
I'm carrying the smallest one, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got now in your arms. The others are holding hands. All right, sounds good. And you're running as fast as you can towards the hearth. Esmond, you're sprinting through the streets. Quick question. Where have we already placed Casey somewhere? Were you already? I can't remember. Were you already at the hearth?
I was returning from the talk with Shalati's farm that way. I don't know if I had made it back or not.
You had left that and gone all the way to the other side to the dynamite and then headed back.
Yes, right.
Okay. Yeah, you're on your way. Well, just going to say you're on your way then, and you glance. Oh, good.
No, go ahead.
You glance in an alleyway and you see Esmond. He's running south towards the flashing.
Oh yeah, as soon as I see the flashing, I would head towards it.
Okay, well you see Esmond.
Yeah. Casey rounds the corner and like skids in the dirt. And locks eyes with Esmond. Kind of nods towards the flashes. And it's like, you coming?
We're not going towards the flashes. We're going to find Ava. Let's move.
And Ava was safe in the Physiker.
Nowhere in the town is going to be safe anymore. We need to grab her and Teridian, and we need to get out now.
Casey,
Out.
just as a reminder, Casey, you remember something important. Last time you checked, Peach has your sword. You don't have it.
Get out. Do you hear that? And he gestures towards the yelling of townspeople. I'm not leaving.
Our options are really limited here. Oh, I don't know what we can do. There's a lot more of these things than there used to be. Something's happened. Something's changed, and they're giving off the same color that one pudding had when I shocked it. Okay, I think there's more of them, and I think that people are going to be hurt, or are going to die unless we can evacuate the town as soon as possible.
Agreed. You get Ava. I'm going towards that.
No, don't run towards it. Oh, don't be stupid about this, okay? We need to be smart, right? If you're gonna run towards the puddings, you're just gonna get yourself killed. All right? You can either come with me to help to gather Teridian and Ava. Maybe Teridian has more tomes that can tell us how to lead these things away, or you go back to the hearth and you help people evacuate. You have two choices. You don't get a third one in this. I'm not allowing it.
How far are we from the Physiker right now?
You're about equidistant right now between the Physiker and the hearth. But the blue flashes are starting to overtake the Physiker.
Yeah, upon seeing that,
Not the building itself, but the area.
yeah. All right, Ez. To the Physiker.
Let's move.
And I'll start running that way.
Take off with them.
All right. Let's see. At the hearth, Araya, Peach, Miranda comes skating forward. She's got her rapier in her hand, and she looks at each of you and she says, "Hey, oh gosh, voice. Come." Oh no, I can't do it.
Yeah, because it's not Ez's mom, who's also there, who I'm gonna help.
It's not as yeah. It's Miranda. I can't do the accent for some reason. I don't know. That'll come back to me later, hopefully. But yeah, she says, "Hey, why don't y'all come with me? We've got weapons. We got weapons in the pantry. We can help." Something's happening.
We need to help these people.
I know we do. Come with me.
But I don't think
We've got weapons squared away.
Araya's gonna grab Ez's mom's hand, who had been sitting with her eating pie.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that's where she was. I forgot we had Ez's parents with us.
Pie friends! Hurry, let's get weapons so we can arm all the people out here.
Yeah, so Gwen looks at you and says, "Oh, but we should wait here. Everyone, don't you think?" And Miranda says, "No, you got to come with me. Hurry."
I need more hands.
I mean, I'll go with you, Araya. Come on. Anybody who can. Yeah, just and Peach will kind of look at her mom. Is there enough to go around? Should I holler for everyone or?
Miranda glances between the three of you and she looks around and she goes, all right, yeah, there should be enough people. Yeah, three of us. You come with me." And she turns and she takes off running.
All right.
Gwen hesitates and she looks the way Esmond went, and then she looks around at all the people that need help and she nods and she says, "Oh, okay, I'll follow you."
And you can stay here if you'd rather.
No, she's holding on to her hand.
All right.
Araya's giving her no choice. Already pulling her along.
That's just fine. I just
Okay.
want to make sure we're not pulling her into something she doesn't want to get involved in.
Yeah, Miranda takes off in a sprint toward the back to the Wanderlust.
Peach is close behind.
All right. Yes, in the streets, Shalati, you and with Yev just behind you, you hear the thundering of hooves, and spilling around one of the corners, Sal on horseback.
Sal, Saladin.
Hey, he looks over his shoulder before he says anything else. Are those things close?
Yeah, you look back over your shoulder. They were really close when you're in the field, but once you got into the town, it looks like you lost them, at least for now.
There's a whole mess of puddings out in the field. Couldn't get off the path to try and find the sheriff. Came running back in here. We got to get these people not gathered all together in one place.
Were you coming from the south?
It was the southern road, right? The sheriff hand went down?
You were coming from the west.
Okay. Yeah, western road out of town.
Is that on the opposite side of where I left my family?
Yeah, opposite.
She thinks about it for a moment and then says, take. We'll be right behind you. Go and tell everyone else. I think that's more important. And
Yep.
she looks back at where he is.
Yeah, he kicks the horse in the nice way, not the mean way.
Yeah, the horse kicks up some dirt on the road. Salinger takes off at a gallop towards the north. Just as he does, Charlotte, you see an older couple holding hands. One of them with a cane, the other one with a satchel over their back. They work kind of at one of the grain mills, and they are hobbling their way towards the center of town. But behind them, you see a blue flash. Blue orb-like pudding kind of appears on the wall, then becomes a streak of lightning opposite wall. It's darting towards them. It's going to take them before they can reach the hearth for sure.
Challenger! She practically screams and points the staff toward the old couple while she breaks into a flat-out run toward them.
All right. If you would, give me a roll for how fast Charlotte is at the running. This is a pure sprint, all strength. Speed.
Oh, a strength?
Yeah. This is not precision, this is just sprinting. Oh, was that? Did you just the 13?
Yes, that was a 13.
Okay, yeah. You are making a sprint towards them. The old woman of the two kind of stumbles a little bit, and the old man the miller turns back to kind of help her from the ground. You can see that as you reach them, that this blue pudding, moving like erratic streaks of lightning, is probably going to reach them. What do you want to do? But you've gotten there first.
Oh, okay. She's basically just gonna shove them down, very rudely probably, but she's going to interpose herself in between and raise the first thing at hand, which I'm going to roll a 1d2 to decide whether it's the staff or the pan.
Okay. One
is the pan, two. So she raises the metal pan in the face of the lightning.
All right.
Not thinking about it.
Yeah, the old couple is shoved to the ground, and there's a streak of blue lightning as this pudding darts through the air toward you. What do you want to do?
Instinctively, she is going to try and swing at it.
All right, give it a roll.
It's nice knowing you.
Oh!
I don't know what that means.
Natural 20. Yeah, well, you swing that pan, and as it makes contact, the pudding just seems almost to get sucked up into the thing. The wooden handle near the base starts to char a bit at the edge, but you can feel the thing shaking as there's lightning surging around the metal pan. What do you do?
She basically spins around and then flings it toward, like the whole thing toward the stone wall of the house, like the building that they're kind of backed up against. So she's like basically slamming the pan against the wall, like trying to beat the spirit out of the pan.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, you smash the cooking pan into the wall. There's a blue flash, and then along the wall there's little darts of lightning, and then this basically limp blue jelly drops to the ground.
She does not stop there. She is going to like basically keep smashing it, and then like stomps up and down on the thing until it's a smear.
Yeah, within moments there's just pudding smear all over the ground, and you can hear the sound of Salinger's hooves, the horse's hooves, vanishing in the background. Yev looks around and he says, "Oh, let's get out of here! Let's help him!" And he starts helping the couple up off the ground.
And she just nods and starts to help up the other one, since I guess Eleanor didn't hear her trying to call him back. She does not.
Well, it happened really fast.
Oh, is he coming back?
It's up to Salinger.
Yeah, if she yelled Sal, he would have stopped and spun the horse around to see what was happening. So there would have been a whinny and some kicked up hooves.
Okay, yeah.
I
So,
don't think.
you see them helping the old couple off the ground. You see more sparks in the alleyways nearby. You know, the danger, there's definitely still danger nearby, but nothing immediately there in the alley with them.
She just gestures toward the old couple and up at the horse.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he gallops right towards them then.
Okay, yeah. And the old couple starts to get up onto the horse. Let's see. Ava.
Uh-huh. I'm here.
Yeah, outside, you've heard the sound of screaming. Some sort of emergency, some sort of alarm. You can hear the town bells in the distance.
She looks at Teridian, who's attending to the patients who'd come in with burns and smoke inhalation, and sort of nods to him just to make sure that he's got it. And
Teridian looks at you and says, I'll take care of these. Go find out what's going on.
And then she nods in response. Races takes off the apron she's got, sort of throws it in the into a basket, and then grabs a pack that's resting right by the door, ties it down, straps it down tight, and then runs out of the physicker's office towards the sound of the commotion.
All right, sounds good. Seifrid, you've been sending to the things we discussed, and you've heard the town bells go off. There's some sort of alarm, some sort of emergency.
Seifrid scoops up a couple of her siblings, and locks eyes with Damasona, and is like, "Let's all right, everybody, let's gather around. I need a head count. Ears down, heads only."
Yeah. Floppy ears down, heads up. You see Damasonia grabs up Hamrish, and Bryony hops up kind of onto your skirts. Brangwine, Elwyn, Lennox, close behind. People start to gather down the stairs. They're grabbing up their snacks.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all right. I've got all the youngers. Do we have?
Merwin is not there. She's not.
Merwin's not there.
She was not home.
Is Sigareth and the 2 babies? Are they with us?
Sigareth Caspian.
Caspian's away. He's gone.
Okay, let me make a note. Yes. So Sigareth, Aelin, Sade. How do you say that? Sade. Yeah. They're. She's got both of them in her arms, and she's falling behind.
Okay, that's everyone but our parents. Maybe they're already there. They would have heard the call and gone straight there, right? All right. Okay, everybody, hold hands, single file line. Let's go.
All right. Your caravan of bunnies starts heading towards the hearth. Let's see. Ava, you spill out into the streets, and just nearby, just north of you, you see Esmond and Casey at a full run.
She, seeing them, sort of trots their direction, and as she's approaching, she's shouting to them, "What's going on?"
Doc, more of them headed this way. We're going to stop them.
No, we're not going to stop them. We're taking everybody that we can, and we're moving as quickly as we can to the center of town, probably evacuating. We need to gather Teridian, and we need to gather those tomes that he had to potentially tell us anything else that could be helpful with stopping these things or leading them away. But we're trying to get people out.
Just as Esmond says that, glancing south, you see the family from the radish farm. They're running north through the road. There's 2 streaks of blue lightning from the alleyway. Both, looks like the mother and the father get hit with bolt blasts of lightning, fall to the ground, begin to convulse. Their kid kind of tumbles out, kind of sits up in the road, starts to cry.
I'm going. And I start running that direction.
Yeah, Ava's already headed that way towards the person who fell.
All right, you go running. You reach the little kid first. They seem unharmed, but they're just sitting in the street crying. Their parents behind on the ground, just south of them, 5-10 feet, are convulsing in the streets.
Yeah, she rushes towards the person who's convulsing.
I also run right past a kid towards where the lightning came from.
All right. Before you do, Asmund, what are you doing?
Falling behind them, looking for any makeshift weapons, like any tools, a broom, pitchfork, anything available.
Roll actually, for both actually Casey and Asmund, roll for like your it's called a wisdom, just an awareness of your surroundings.
So I rolled an 8 plus a 4 for 12.
Casey, that's a 7. You guys haven't found any particularly useful tools on the way down, barehanded. What do you guys want to do?
Go ahead.
Casey looks back and sees Esmond following behind, and grins and says, "I'll strike first. You follow up." And do we see the jellies?
What you saw was the couple running north on the road. You saw streaks of blue lightning come from the adjacent alleyways. Each time the lightning stopped in the air, you could see a jelly, like a ball in the air, and then it vanished, and there was another streak of lightning, and they seemed to strobe kind of through the air, and then they struck the couple. There's little bits of lightning kind of coursing through the couple on the ground, convulsing. On the road.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to make up a treatment for this, if that's okay, Chris.
You can try. What do you want to do?
Ava fumbles through her packs and pulls out 2 metal tongs and places them between the ring finger and pinky finger, and then the index finger and the middle finger on one of the convulsing people. And then
did you start with the guy or the girl?
She would start with the person that she was closer, unless there was one person that's obviously
they're equidistant.
Oh, and they're the boy's mother and father?
From what you can tell. Or probably grandparents.
Grandparents, okay. I can start with the grandmother. And puts one of the metal tongue between those 2 fingers, and then starts to scribble something on her arm, and sort of in more of a gesture than actually writing on there. And the energy that had gone through her body was pulsing, starts to she's trying to channel that down and into the 2 tongs, and if it works correctly, the charge should spring back and forth up along those 2 and up into the air and then dissipate into the sky.
Nice. I like that idea. All right, go ahead and give a roll for Ava's connection with magic. This is a pretty tall order, though. The thing you're trying, you've never tried before. It's not going to be easy. You need a total of a 20. It's a 9 plus 4. That's going to get you to a 13, which is pretty good. You know it was a good idea. Maybe if you'd had more time or more practice. But right there in front of you, as you're in the midst of attempting this, there is a pop and a blue flash. And first, the body of the woman right there in front of you is just gone. And there are 3 blue puddings that smack against the surrounding walls and then start to wriggle and start to right themselves.
Oh God, she
pop.
panics.
Then the guy's body's gone too. 3 more puddings hit the wall.
She panics for just a second, grabs the 2 tongs, turns and sprints back towards the crying child to snatch him up, and starts trying to run in the opposite direction, or at least away from the puddings, towards the Physiker office.
Well, all right, you turn around, scrambling backwards from the ground. Casey, you kind of back up kind of run into Esmond, I think, a little bit. Casey, Esmond, you're right there.
Casey, having turned to Ez and saw his reaction to what he said, kind of skids to the halt, turns back to Esmond and says, "Esmond!" And he yells in primordial, this low, hissing, the word that Ez would recognize as focus, and he snaps. And when he snaps, a flame bursts out from his hand and starts to crackle and stuff like that. And the flames are reflecting in his eyes, staring directly into Esmond. And he turns to those jellies that just landed on the ground, and he throws the fire down at him.
All right. Actually, don't even bother rolling for this. The first one, just tell me a story.
Yeah, this fire, when the fire erupts out of Casey's hand, you can feel the heat. Casey's generally pretty warm as it is when he's close to you like this, but this heat is stinging your face. It's so close and so hot. And as he turns, streak of kind of heat and smoke flies through the air, and when it hits the ground, it kicks up dirt and ash, and the fire rolls over this jelly and intermixes with the electricity as it and just makes this terrible burning and popping now noise as it kind of just smears out onto the ground.
All right, there's a boiling and a pop, and one of those 6 jellies is rendered just into basically embers, leaving 5 of them that are starting to wiggle, and kind of, it almost seems like they're getting up to their feet, if a jelly could do such a thing. Esmond, what are you doing?
Having watched that display, Esmond, despite the situation, has a broad smile across his face, but will, snapping back to focus, as the one jelly popped and seeing the 5 other remaining, running calculations in his head, will grab O by the front of his shirt and start running, following behind Ava, trying to drag him along. And in response, in primordial, he responds with, "Can't have you dying here yet. We move forward now."
All right. With Ava leading the way, looks as though Esmond dragging Casey behind, unless Casey is frozen and means to be responding. Is Casey frozen?
And
oh no.
He's just turned into a robot.
Yeah, Casey, I think you're lagging.
oh no.
You might be back.
Am I back?
I think you're back.
Did you guys hear the last thing I said?
No.
I do a front flip into the middle of the jellies. No, just kidding. The part about following along with Esmond.
We did not hear that, but you are following?
Yeah, so hearing Esmond say this to him, he grins and looks over his shoulder at the jelly that he just smoldered and the other 5 that are wriggling, and runs along with Esmond, but Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Casey, as the three of you are running back towards the Physiker, Casey, you're in the back. You glance over your shoulder. You see the 5 remaining blue jellies sort of seem to right themselves, and then you see from each of them little features begin to form. You're not sure at first what they are, and then you realize it's 2 ears, legs, a little fluffy tail, it looks like. They kind of take the shape of bunnies, but they're still blue. They're still puddings, and they start to hop, scrambling off in different directions through the streets.
Oh no, I love them.
Don't pet them.
Let's see. At the Wanderlust, Miranda leading the way. She kind of skids us up in front of the doors, throws them open, runs inside. As you're following her inside, you see she goes kind of to the bar, reaches under there, starts searching around, pulls out a crossbow, starts to load it, and she looks at Peach. She says, honey, back at the pantry, barrel, and move the shelves on the right side. I got weapons stored there. Hurry.
All right. And Peach does. What does she find?
So you run in there. Do you want to do the barrels, or do you want to do the shelves?
Oh,
I could take the other.
Yeah, I would ask Rhea. Rhea, I'll take the gosh, you're taller than I am. I'll take the barrel. You get the shovel or the shelves.
Right. What is Esmond's mother's name again?
Gwen.
Gwen, find brooms or sticks, mops. We should give other people something.
Yeah.
And she runs to the cabinet.
Okay, yeah. So you guys run into the back of the pantry, which is like a walk-in kind of thing, storage area. The barrels, Peach. You can see that there's a big barrel in the back. It looks like you've realized you've never looked in this barrel. You don't know what's in it, but you need to pry the top of it. It looks like it's tightly closed. So give a roll for trying to quickly pry the lid off.
Okay, I'm gonna say that I know how to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Or do I?
All right. While you're working on that, Araya, in the back right side of the room are a bunch of shelves with crates that are kind of stacked almost as high as the ceiling. And you can see there's a section of wall just behind the crates.
Okay, yeah, she'll go to... She said cabinet, right? No.
Shelves.
Crates? Shelves. Okay. Yeah, so she's going straight to the shelves. She will stand on crates if she needs to get up high.
Okay.
Fine.
Well, she had said to move them. What do you want to try to do?
I have to move them? Gwen, can you help me? I need to move all this.
Gwen says, "Oh, okay." And she comes kind of following after you. She's trying to drag crates.
I'll push. She drags.
They sent such a strong group to move all of these crates and barrels.
All right, you're working on that. Peach, it takes you a little bit, but you manage to pry the lid off of that barrel. Bing! Kind of comes off. You look inside. All you see is grain. You hear the door of the pantry slams closed behind you. Then you hear something being placed in the lock. And Miranda's muffled voice from the outside. No, you're just gonna stay in there.
We gotta get out of here.
You're gonna stay in there, or you're just gonna stay safe.
Yeah, this is bullshit. There's no weapons back here.
There's...
Wait, we gotta get out of here. Where
are we down?
How many exits do I know? I know this place. This is my freaking pantry.
There's no way out of this pantry.
There's no way out of this pantry except the way we came in.
Oh, all right. She's gonna take oh god, we're the nimblest little fingers. Gwen, do you know how to pick a lock?
Gwen's eyes wide, staring. She starts looking around the room.
I'm gonna ram the door with all of my
wait.
Measly little self.
No, before Araya does that, Peach grabs her and then pulls a longsword from her belt. Says, maybe we can use this?
Can you just
Can I?
What do you do? You're holding a big, heavy
Can I roll?
longsword in your hands. What do you want to do?
Attack the door? Or
With,
just the lock? If
yeah,
the handle,
yeah.
if you could just hack
try to
this
like
off.
lift it and like hack the door lock part off.
There's no lock on the inside. It's a big crossbar in front of the pantry on the outside.
Then trying to lift the crossbar with the sword, basically.
Okay, yeah, you start trying to jam the sword through the wood, and you're creaking of wood. All right, back at the hearth. Kabeth, you come spilling with your siblings into the hearth. You see all the people there gathered around. They look afraid, torches in hand. A couple people just you. Come on.
We're not safe here. We're not safe anywhere. We need to disperse. We need to get out of town. The puddings, they're electric and they're zapping people, and it's really dangerous. We need to run this way. Go.
Eyes go wide. Roll persuasion.
How good am I at persuasion?
16 on the die.
If I have a 2 normally with my skill, what should I roll? D6?
If it's your best thing, roll a d6. If you're just pretty good at it, roll a d4.
So that's a 19.
19, yeah. Eyes go wide, and people around you, they start looking at each other. I knew it! And then people start running in random directions, like running kind of into alleys, and the people around start to spread out. And you see Parsnip, he's standing on the hearth. He's just, no, stay together.
Don't run random directions, people. I pointed a direction.
I know. You in... Oh, 1 second. Name is for us.
19 wasn't that good, huh?
No, and it was perfect. You convinced people. Timot. Tim, for short, looks at you and says, where do we go? Where should we go?
Electricity. I've read about that in books. And I see Ez work on it. We need to go somewhere that they can't zap us. Is there a barn with a hayloft or something around?
No barns at this part of the town. There's a warehouse near the docks. If you headed out near the fields, there'd be barns.
Well, fields. Let's go to the fields.
People... murmurs and cries are beginning to spread through the crowd. Some people are spilling out into the alley. Some people are climbing up onto the hearth. You begin to work your way from the alley, and you spot Seifert and her family moving together towards you.
Seifert, the jellies, they're electricity, and they zap people, and it's really bad. We need to run.
Seifert turns and says something and shouts something in Sylvan to Sigareth, to the effect of jellies here, and
to be clear, speak Sylvan.
That's fine.
Just letting you know. I think you would know that she does. So if you're trying to be private, it doesn't work.
I mean, she's not hiding anything from you, but yeah, and then
Sigareth's eyes go wide and her ears really fold down. She stares at you. Afraid.
And so we were help give me a picture of mental map. We were heading into town towards the hearth, and
you're headed towards what is basically the center of town. Really, it's more on the northern side because it's near the docks, but it's basically the heart of the town. It's where everything happens, and you've been working your way through the alleys as people are screaming around you.
Seifert looks like she's thinking really fast. Color. What color are they?
Blue. And we need something to fight them with that doesn't conduct electricity.
Electricity. Gotcha.
Rooms, wood. We need a place where we can see them coming to. This is not safe.
Is there like a large, like, barn type loft, like, that I would be familiar with living out towards, in the field?
Certainly. You've got one near your farm. you're just the farthest possible point from that right now. You guys are near the heart of town.
Okay. All right, bunnies. About face. We gotta head back to the barn. Race to the barn. She'll turn to Kabeth. All right, let's go.
I put down my sibling and I say, race to the barn. Go. And I kind of shoo her off.
All right, yep. And so they start following up. Yeah, the satyrs following after the bunnies start heading west towards the barn. Kabeth, are you going with them?
No, actually, I think I'm going to look at Seyfried and say, I want to help our friends. I'm gonna go find something to fight with. Find out where everybody else is.
Yeah, Seyfried, you hear this, of course.
I'm talking to Seyfried.
You're not coming with us. You're going to try to. What are you planning on doing?
Sweep them out of town.
Where is everybody else? Do you know
That's
where
what
they
I
are?
mean. I won't know where they are. I want to make sure everybody else is okay.
Seyfried looks torn for a minute, and then she'll catch up with Sigarith to talk to her for a second.
Okay, yeah, she kind of looks at you across the lower heads of all the other bunnies. You see her eyes are big and glassy.
Again in Sylvan, Seyfried will kind of look uncharacteristically serious for a moment. Kabeth said they're blue. I think we should head back to the barn. I'm gonna try to see if I can find our parents. Do you got this?
Yeah, Sigarith kind of looks back and forth urgently, thinking about what you just said. And then she looks at you. And she nods and says, "Okay, find them. We'll hide in the barn.
Okay, good luck.
Be careful." And she turns. And bunnies start to hop.
Okay, I'm with you.
Let's go find some brooms.
Okay, you guys go searching. Shalati and... Let me think of this. Yeah. Probably Salinger first. Shalati following behind, I'm assuming. You converge from two adjoining alleyways into Esmond, Ava, and Casey. You're also starting, like, a couple of people almost run into you. One of them actually runs into the front of your horse and is knocked down. You can see that there's a scramble of people coming from the north, coming from the hearth, spilling out into the alleys. One of them reaches up, looks up to you, Sal, and they say, it's not safe! It's not safe! Get out of here!
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to tell Everett, but I'm assuming they run past and keep going.
Yeah.
Ava is...
Yeah, so Sal, Shalati, Ava, Esmond, Casey are all together right now.
Everyone. All right. Nothing hurt?
No, not even close.
We're all okay. There's, I think we all know, the puddings when they strike, it takes only a moment, but they kill people and they turn them into smaller puddings. They multiply by zapping and killing their target.
Then we need to get as far away from this place as we can. Everybody out of the town as fast as we can.
Here, take him. I'm going to the physicers. She hands off the little child to Sal.
Ava reaches up, puts a child in your arms, screaming.
All right, then.
The Regellis spotted west and south. So, don't go that way, whichever way you go. And I think she's going to try and raise her voice to be heard above the screaming and the running people. And say, wherever you run, don't go west or south. They're coming from there.
Where are we gonna meet? I need a destination to bring everyone to.
What DM? What's on the outskirts of the town in the east and southern regions outside of the town?
East is the Cadney Ranch. South is the old ruins.
We'll meet at the ranch.
I left my siblings on the road there. They're keeping an eye out and trying not to let them. Didn't want to bring them in here. Go to them. They're just on the ranch, the road to the ranch. Ava, I'll go with you, and then we'll meet you. We'll meet you there.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Peach, roll a test of your strength as you're trying. I'll let you roll with advantage because you have the sword.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there's the wood scrapes a bit, but man, this old tavern's standing a long time. It's well built. It's going to take you a long time to get through this door, at least with the sword.
Rhea, I hate to ask something personal, but do you think maybe your new addition could help us get something lifted on the other side here? I don't mean to be indelicate, but we kind of got to go.
Is there any clearance under the door?
We could say it's possible if you sat down with your back against the door.
Yeah. I will try. Just turn around.
Of course. And she'd like make sure Ez's mom turns around too. I can't believe Ez's mom is with us.
Yeah, Gwen's like, what's going on?
Nothing.
No, we are locked in here, Gwen. My mom pulled something fast on us. We need to get out. Array's gonna try to get us out, but she just needs privacy, okay?
Okay, well, we gotta get out of here. Ez is out there.
I know, we gotta get out of here. Because we can't leave everybody out there. We have to... Exactly.
I'll try to find something to help. Gwen starts going through supplies. All right, what do you do?
I'm gonna discontinue. She sort of like scoots up against the door and hikes up the back of her skirts and tries to fit her tail underneath the door.
Well, you've been having an issue lately. How do you, how do you convince your tail to...
Don't you just hate it when people trap you someplace that you don't necessarily want to be? And she's just I will put a slit in this skirt for you if you help me right now.
Aha, tail goes into the door. You can hear it kind of reaching around. Seems to find the piece of wood that was used to jam the door closed. Clank, clank, clank. Falls to the ground. The door's open.
That's
Araya,
amazing.
you are genius. And Araya's tail, you have a separate kind of consciousness. Thank you to you too.
Is there a broom in the pantry closet or a mop?
Yeah,
I'm grabbing those. I'm grabbing all of them. I'm not giving these back to your mom. Those tricky things she did. We need to be helping people.
All right, you grab a mop. There's mops, brooms all on the inside.
She's taking it. She's
dual wielding. Okay, get them. Arm full of mops and brooms. Okay, sounds good. Ava, you weren't that far away, so you go spilling up. Actually, let's resolve something. Actually, that scene. People at the pantry. The door's open now. You've grabbed brooms. You got arm full of brooms. What do you do?
It'll be easier to protect people if they're inside, not if they're all out together. Don't you think?
Didn't it say evacuate? He said evacuate, so get everybody out of town.
Where?
I don't know anywhere where the puddings ain't coming from, but I don't know that we can fight these things. I think we gotta book it.
Water! To the water! Water?
No,
Everyone
doesn't
to
water
the ocean.
conduct electricity?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that would just...
I like water. I prefer water.
No, we're running. Which way Kate doesn't remember where the pudding's coming from, because Peach did see it.
Well, it's kind of generally coming from the south, but when I say it's coming from the south, it's like the southern quadrant of the town. Like, it's not...
Oh, yeah.
acutely located.
Yeah. We gotta get out of here. We gotta go north. We gotta get out.
Okay.
Just like in a quick as we can. I don't know where to bring people, but... And then she'd look at his mom and say, "I'm so sorry that you pulled along into this, Miss Clockright."
Yeah, Gwen's been in the searching through crates, and as the door comes open, her eyes go wide. She goes running your way. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
She'll run outside and start having people. We need to go north. We need to go that way. And she'll if you want a broom, Peach, she offers you a broom.
Oh,
no, you have a
it's got
sword.
a long sword.
Miss Clockright has your weapon.
Yeah, she takes it and holds it like a lance. It goes running. It's just out in front of her. She just sprints to the room.
I appreciate her. I'm gonna be behind people, but getting them to go forward and helping stragglers.
Okay, so just to make sure that I'm oriented, just out of character, where are all the characters headed right now?
North town.
Well, I meant to ask.
Give me a location instead of direction.
Ask individual people first. I don't know what order you want to do this in.
Okay, well, the people coming from the pantry, where are you guys going?
What is north of town? That's like the mountains.
The ocean.
Oh, sweet. Big fan.
Okay. Yeah, so on that side of town, you've got the docks, you've got the lighthouse. If you get a little farther, there's the mountains that kind of flank on the other side of the town.
Sounds good. We've got options.
Okay, sounds good. Beth, Seifert, where are you guys headed?
I'm pantry person. I'm actually going to try and find my mom.
Okay, so you're not going together, you're going different places. Okay. So you're going, last place you saw her was actually here. You don't know where she is. Where are you going to go?
Peach would go out into the street and start looking around for her, but she would tell Ray, I'm going to find my mom. This was some horseshit.
Buddy system, though.
I'll be my own buddy.
But you've got the sword. No.
Sword is the girl's best friend.
Telling off your mom is not as nearly big a priority as avoiding getting jellied.
All right. You're right. All right. God damn it.
She's probably heading north, too.
She's probably hunkered down somewhere. I feel like I don't know her at all. But let's go. Everybody, let's go.
Well, it's just two of you. Gwen's already run out the door with a broomstick.
I thought we were outside.
I think Beth immediately turns to the nearest house and starts trying doors to find somebody who's left one unlocked.
Sure.
She's looking for brooms. And if she finds somebody in the house, she'll be like, "Where's your broom?"
Oh yeah, we'll say you already found a broom kind of out on the front stoop of somebody's house.
Cool. Beth would want to find other people. Seyfried, what do you want to do?
Seyfried wants to find her directives are finding her friends, finding her parents, or finding her one of her older sisters, who is still possibly in town.
Okay, so you're looking for members. Okay, you're looking for members of your family. You haven't found yet, but where? Do you want to go to places that they might normally be, or do you want to go to the hearth where people were gathering? You were just kind of there, though.
So
in fact, you're still kind of there. You're still around there.
Okay, and I didn't see any of them in sort of the chaos around us.
You have not yet seen the other members of your family.
Okay, since I'm close to the location that people presumably are supposed to head towards in response to the alarm, I'd like to head from here to the place where one of my family members typically is. Do we have like a little stall or storefront or something like that, or wherever they would be?
Usually that time of day, if you were looking for, is it Evo? Ivo? How do you pronounce that?
Evo.
Yeah, if you're looking for Evo or Winfried, they would probably be near like the town market, which is a little bit north of where you guys are now, closer to the docks.
Okay. And what direction would Merwin typically be in from here?
She usually would be either helping with that or helping at the farm, so she might be in some place in between or at one or the other. So if she wasn't with you, chances are good she would have been there.
Okay, then that is where I would like to go.
All right.
I guess I'm following.
Okay, so Kabath.
I'm just keeping an eye out for everybody else.
Cool. Kabath and Seifert headed towards the market. Okay, so Ava... Sorry, I know where Ava's going, the Fisker. Casey and Esmond, were you guys headed straight out to the western fields to get Shalati's family, or were you going with Ava first?
So,
or something totally different.
Kevin's AFK.
Maybe AFK, but yeah. So Shalati said to go and get her family who are waiting at that one spot, yeah. I think Casey would stick with Ez and go do that, but he would stop Shalati before she goes with Ava and say something if Purse is around.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so Ava says she's going to visit her, and Shalati goes to follow her. Casey will put a hand on Shalati's arm as she starts to walk away, and look into her eyes, and you see his eyes are a bit redder than they have been before, and his hand is warmer than you remember. And he says, "Hey, see you soon, yeah." And
in response, she looks at him, and her pupils are kind of dilated a little bit more than you might expect, given the light that's around from torches and whatnot. She's probably still panting a bit from running, and there's a sort of energy about her. Like, she is not as distraught as you might think would be appropriate for the situation. And she smiles, her fangs kind of showing a little bit, and then just grips him by the back of the neck and touches the forehead to his, and then shoves him to the east. And says, she nods to Yev and says, "You know where they are. Take them back there."
Yeah, Yev says, "Okay, I'll lead them there." And he grips his shovel and starts moving east.
And Casey, after that, kind of looks down and grins a bit, and then looks up at Ava and gives a knowing nod, and then turns to Ez and slaps him on the shoulder and starts moving in the direction with Yev.
Guessing Sal on horseback is heading with them because they're leaving town. That makes the most sense since I have a literal child and 2 elderly people on the horse with me.
Seems that way. So you're
That's
going.
a really crowded horse.
Yeah, I feel like he got off the horse and he is leading it along.
Well, most people are halflings, right, in the town? I assume halflings.
It's true. They're small. So Sal, you are headed east with Yev and those guys to go. Okay, that's good. All right. Yes. So then, Ava, you've reached the Fisker.
Okay.
Assuming that you're going inside, pulling the door open, you can see that there are more people in there than you left. You see 2 new people, like they look unconscious, lying on the ground, and Teredian's kind of kneeling over one of them, checking their condition.
She takes in very quickly, just cursory glance, trying to sort of assess the new people who are there, just sees that they're unconscious. And as she's been running back towards the Physiker, she's been reviewing the injured people who are there, the ones that were there before she left moments ago. Of the people who were hurt, how many of them are able to move, even if it's uncomfortable? Like, are all of them able to like get up and walk of their own accord, even if they're...
All the people who were there previously had minor burns or smoke inhalation. All of them could travel. There are 2 new people on the ground and 2 other people there who don't seem injured at all. Teredian looks up at you and goes, "Oh, Ava, come here, come here."
She looks at him for a second and makes her way around the room and picks something up. As she's going around, she pulls open a couple of drawers, ones that are typically a little bit less accessible, and starts pulling out a couple of bags. As she hurriedly walks towards him, and as she's walking around the room, she's sort of shaking her head and says, "Teredian, if they're attacked, they can explode with more puddings. I don't know how it happens, but if once they're hurt, they can have them inside them." And she's saying this as she's moving her way around the room towards where he is.
That's good. So Shalati, you probably hear that as you're coming into the room right behind Ava.
Yeah, I feel like she would have tried to get a description of what it looked like when they became jellies. Or maybe along the way. But...
Yeah. Then Ava would have described, in pretty clinical terms, as best she can, still obviously shaken and a little bit frazzled, how the 2 grandparents, they were just struck. They fell to the ground convulsing. The electric shocks still moving through them, and then within seconds they just popped. And from them 3 more came. Five more came. 3 more from each. I couldn't remember. Thank you. 3 more came from each of them. Casey managed to burn one of them, and it took them, just like the others, a second to get their bearings. It's like when they first come out, they're kind of vulnerable, like they haven't oriented themselves or something. I don't know. It all happened so fast.
Well, I suppose I can't just bash anyone who looks like they're unconscious or hit by lightning. So the only thing we can do is wait. But she just nods, and then I guess that'll be a little flashback. Then we can go back to the situation. She's just going to sort of stand near the people who look like they're unconscious and not moving, and she's just pen at the ready.
As Esmond comes in, because he was traveling with them as well.
Okay.
Yeah. As he comes in, he's just going to announce to Teredian, Teredian, I need that tome that described the puddings and anything else that is at all tangentially related. Is there anything that you can think of off the top of your head that could help to lead any puddings that are in town away?
Yeah, so Ava's, that's all happening kind of very similar at the same time. Ava, you were in the midst of, that sound like about to apply something or do something?
To the people, she's sort of been, as she's moving around the room, she's collected some of the things and sort of in a physical way, but non-verbally, been sort of shuffling people's things as they're, sitting on tables, laying on tables, whatever, and sort of placing it on their hands. The way that a rude host might, as basically saying, it's time for you to leave in a non-verbal sense. So they may not understand what she's doing, but that's essentially what she's doing as she's moving around and directing her words towards Teridian. And then as I'll get...
Sorry, I'm not sure that I understand. What do you say to him?
Oh, I'm sorry. What she said is she went around the room. I already said once, but she's essentially going to launch into a version of the same information that I just gave to Shalati in the flashback. I just didn't want to go through it again.
Okay.
Unless you want me to.
No, that's fine. So you're just explaining the process of the puddings that you saw?
Yeah, and for the people who are unconscious and anyone else who looks like they're a little injured, Teridian would recognize that what she picked up was a very potent substance called stem powder that is white and should only be taken in small quantities because it peps you up a whole lot when you take it.
Okay. Sure. So what do you do with it?
For some of the patients that look like they might be hobbling around or a little less enthusiastic, she's gonna basically be going and giving out small amounts of this stuff as and she'll tell Shalati to help get people, tell people where we're meeting, and she's basically passing this out, trying to get people.
No, I like it. We're summarizing like that. Let's do scenes. So there's an old woman standing there in front of you. She looks at you wide-eyed as you approach her with this powder. What's that?
We have to leave town. Are you? Can you make your way across to what's the name of the farm? Sorry, out of character.
Cadney Ranch.
Cadman Ranch.
The Cadney Ranch. Shalati's Ranch.
Yeah, Shalati's Ranch. Yeah,
Cadney Ranch.
Yeah, can you make your way to Cadney Ranch?
No, I can, but we can't leave these people.
We're not leaving anybody. Help get everyone to their feet. Get other belongings. We have to go. We have to go right now. If anyone isn't feeling, just let me know. I'll make sure they can get on their feet.
Okay. These two can't walk. They're too hurt. Something attacked them.
Is she pointing to the unconscious people?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Cover them up right now. Cover them up with a blanket immediately.
Sorry, and Teridian has turned to get the tome for Esmond, I think, at that point.
In that case, she's going to look at Shalati and hope to have her take the people who are not laying unconscious. And, Ava's going to, even though she doesn't want to, go to the unconscious people and try to very briefly examine them. Give them to figure out what's going on.
I think Shalati sees that sort of gesture toward the not conscious people, but on saying that Ava is heading toward the unconscious folks, it's just shakes her head and then is going to keep standing over the unconscious people. She drops what her, I think she was going to try and find a wheelbarrow or something, but then she stops that and heads back toward them and stands over it, ready to push Ava out of the way if need be, depending on what happens.
Okay, so Shalati is blocking the way from Ava reaching these two unconscious people.
No. She's not blocking her way, but she's ready to push her out of the way if something erupts out of them.
Okay, sounds good. So Ava, so you've got this bag of the stem root, in your hands. Mm-hmm. You haven't done anything with it yet. What do you do?
She calls out to Teridian as she's kneeling down towards one of the nearest unconscious people to ask what he's observed, what's wrong with, and the person's name who's on the floors that she's looking at.
Okay, yeah. Teridian
while looking
says,
herself.
Looks like that's why I called you over. It's very similar symptoms what happened with the young Fennel.
Her eyes kind of go wide. She looks up at Shalati, and then just sort of like looks down at him and says, "It hasn't been. Are they showing symptoms of fever?"
Yes.
I think it might be too late. But she's gonna leave them. She looks at Shalati, says, "All right, watch over them," and then she's gonna move towards the others and help everyone get their stuff to get ready to leave. And as she's doing this, she tells Shalati, she says, "I'll try to help them last."
To aid in this, for the people who seem confused or whatnot, Shalati is going to bellow, "You have to leave. It is not safe here anymore. Head toward the ranch or towards the lighthouse, which is on the north side of the coast, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Those two places should be okay. Do not head west or south, but you have to leave. This place is not safe anymore.
All right. Pretty much immediately. They don't need much prodding. The people who just suffered burns and smoke, they start filtering out through the door. But the people who were closest to the people on the ground, they don't leave. And like the old woman says, well, we can't leave them. We're going to stay here.
Charlotte's gonna try and just like start physically pushing them out the door. It says, "You can't stay here."
I have a really easy time moving them. They're old, but you kind of shove them to the door, but they don't like turn and leave. You just kind of shove them out and they stumble a little bit. She falls over. What are you doing?
And to keep you safe.
I have to look after them. I'm not leaving them. You wouldn't leave your family.
They might be contagious, Ava calls out.
What do you mean? And as standing there in the doorway, finger shaking at Shalati, there's a flash of blue lightning, and you see a blue smear from the right side hit the old woman. She stumbles, falls to the ground, convulsing. Esmond, you have a book in your hand.
Just stares.
What was that, DM?
You've got the tome in your hand. Shalati, the old woman's laying at your feet, convulsing in the doorway.
She's going to... The only thing she can think of to do at the moment is like some really basic first aid stuff. So she just drops to her knees and starts to do chest compressions on her, like trying to beat this lightning out of her.
All right.
Esmond is going to turn to Teridian as he hands him the tome. Do you have anything else? Any other books? Anything that is in any way whatsoever related to whatever is in this tome?
The egg turns, staring at the door, and he says, "My word!" Ava, what do you do?
Ava, having seen this, her mind torn in different directions. She's almost like a squirrel in the middle of the road, having gone like bounced back and forth between different things. She sees Shalati over the old woman, and desperately she grips her fist and she decides she's going to try one more time. So she reaches back into her bag, she runs out, and she attempts the exact same procedure that she attempted earlier on this woman, holding her hand down and putting the tongs in there.
All right. Ava, as you run forward, you pretty much almost have to shove Shalati out of the way. But as you do, as you approach the woman, Casey, earlier in the day, you've made your way in through the door of the Physiker before the sun had set.
What?
Flashback.
Oh no.
Casey would look around, and I imagine probably see the sheet over Timmel.
Fennel, yeah.
Fennel. Sorry.
Fennel has died just moments ago. Ish.
Yeah, he'd look around, not seeing Ava, and kind of move up to where the room that she works in and is in most of the time, and he'll go up and knock on the door and open it.
Yeah, if this is this is after she's calmed down a little bit, Ava would be in her room. She is putting together a couple of different stacks of a couple books in her arm that are tucked underneath, and she's carrying some different beakers and unusual supplies that she's going to be moving from the place in her room down to where the experiments are run, knowing that she's going to be examining as best she can and running tests on the remnants of the puddings that were left behind. She sees Casey as she comes in and is sort of shocked, so focused, her mind's so focused on what she was doing, she just jumps back a little bit, almost like a little scared. Oh, Casey, what are you doing here?
He looks at the books and whatnot in her hand, and sure. You getting back to work? Good.
Of course, yeah. I mean, there's stuff we need to help people, and so that nothing bad like this happens to more people. If it does, then we can fix it.
Yeah, I know it's hard to lose a patient like that, but you shouldn't mourn Fennel Flynn. He lived bravely. He did not flinch in the face of ruin. Instead, he pushed forth into the darkness with conviction. Sometimes, though, destiny calls us too soon. I mean, it's up to us, to each one of us, to be ready when it does come calling.
Yeah. I really need to get to work. I can't do this right now. I need to focus on there's stuff I have to get done. Casey.
Casey nods and opens the door and goes to leave, but pauses in the doorway and turns back to Ava and says, "Don't lament your skills as a healer, Doc. You did all you could to save him. You have more strength in you yet."
She stands there in the middle of the room, kind of looking at him, and then her eyes eventually break away from his, and she sort of turns to stare at the floor a little bit, and then takes a deep breath, and then but doesn't respond. Just sort of stands there.
Casey nods, stands a moment, and then leaves without saying anything further.
At the very end, after she hears the door shut, she continues standing there. Then just walks over to where the bench was, places the items she was holding down, and takes a seat, and just sits there for several minutes before she finally collects her things and goes downstairs.
In the present, you kneel over the body of this old woman in the street, convulsing, bits of blue lightning shocking through her body. Fennel died. The couple in the street died. You have seconds to save this woman.
All right. She tries the same procedure. She wraps both of her fingers around the different puns, pulls them up, and begins frantically going over there, having something muttered under her breath. It's impossible to tell whether or not what she's saying are words of an incantation or the words of a procedure that she's reminding herself in order to go over. It's just hushed and under her breath, repeated rapidly, her eyes intensely focused.
All right, Charlotte?
Charlotte, after being shoved out of the way, is going to try and aid in some way, mostly by trying to hold the woman still so that she's not convulsing and getting in the way of whatever Ava's trying to do.
Okay, that'll work for flavor. It won't affect the roll.
Yeah.
All right, Ava, you can roll with advantage because of Casey's previous pep talk and Charlotte helping you. It's a 14. You roll your medicinal abilities, and you need... Oh, that's 14 total.
You mean 10, right?
Sorry,
You said roll with advantage.
Yes,
you know what? I think I have an inspiration. I think I'm going to give this a shot for this one. I'm going to try to save this person. I'm sure there'll be others, but that's fine. I'm going to give it a shot.
Give it a roll. Ooh, it's an 18. Please roll a d6. With a 2, that's a 20. That is exactly what you needed. There is an arc of lightning through the metal tongs. Lightning streaks up into the air, strikes one of the sides of the building. There's a pop. Little pieces of blue pudding go raining down into the street. The old woman gasps. You saved her.
A huge amount of breath just escapes from her. Small beads of sweat have already started on her brow, and she just exhales. And she nods and looks up at Charlotte and looks down at the woman and just sort of says, "You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay." And then she picks up the 2 tongs and then makes her way, staggers back inside towards one of the other things that she thinks that she needs to get done. They're in the room. She just doesn't know what they are. She can't quite process what's next.
All right. Because of this heroic moment, everyone gets an inspiration.
You're being so generous today, and yet not giving me opportunities to use it.
That's true. But we'll say actually in that moment, Kabeth, Seifrid, you're running through the streets, kind of bumping into people. People are running in different directions. Some of them are listening to what you're saying. Your warnings headed towards the farms. Some of them are in a panic, not listening at all. You begin to approach the markets. You see the colorful tents and awnings of the different stalls, the variety of stalls and shops there. You can see the wood and the windmills sort of closer to the docks. There's a crowd of people. Roll your character's keenness of sight to try to pick out the people you're looking for amongst the panicking crowd. Ooh.
That's a natural 20, Chris. Do I find some of the people we're looking for? My father sends family.
You do indeed. Piercing a glance through the crowd, you first are able to pick out your father, and then you also spot the silhouette of Seifrid's family there in the market among the crowd. It looks like people have started to gather in this place because there are large crates and things to sort of hide behind.
Seifrid, I see them. I see my papa, and I see your family.
Oh my god. She'll bound over it to them.
I'll meet you back here, I guess, and I will run to my papa.
Well, they're kind of together. People are hiding like at these crates.
They happen to be together? Awesome. Even more convenient. You would go over there together.
Yeah, you arrive. You see them, and not only them, but several other people. It looks like they've sort of pushed some crates together to kind of form like a bit of a barricade. At least it looks like they're still in the process of building it. They're not hiding there yet. They're like making it.
Papa, we've sent the siblings to Seifrid's family farm. They need help.
Okay, Beth, help me! What building place for these people to hide?
They need to get out of town. It's not safe. There's nowhere to hide. You gotta sweep them away. And she holds up her broom.
Oh, and he looks at you, studies your face, looks at the room, looks back at you, and then maybe for the first time, maybe almost ever, he doesn't question, doesn't argue, just nods. Okay. Seifrid, you're bounding up, and you see. Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
Merwin,
Yeah,
Evo, and Winfred.
Yes, Merwin and Evo are there. You don't see Winfred. They look at you. Evo says, "Oh, Mom, went to look for you. What are you doing here?"
Baba jellies. What do we do? Where did she go? Where did she go to look for me? Everyone else went to the barn.
Yeah, she was headed home.
Okay, we need to go.
He kind of looks around and says, "We can't leave everyone."
Seifrid's ears sort of like flip back as she looks around, uncertain and a bit panicked. How many other people are sort of like hiding together? Is it just the Beth's family and my family?
No, there's probably about a dozen people total. It's a pretty big area. It looked as though they were trying to like use crates to build barricades to protect people, kind of thing.
I don't know, but we can't stay separated like this. We need to get back with everybody. They're at our barn. Everyone could come with us.
Okay. You see Evo glances over at Merwin. They look at each other and look at you, and then Evo kind of turns to the other and say, "Everyone, we're gonna move to the farm. It's not safe here. We're gonna move to the farm."
Merwin's blind.
That's not my notes. Oh no. Evo's never noticed. She's been faking the whole time.
She's got really good hearing. I bet she tries to make it as convincing as possible.
She does. However, over on the main road that heads to the docks from here, you spot Araya, and
I'm not with them, by the way. I'm not going. If you're making us move, I'm not going with them.
No, it's moved. You're in the same spot. It's just the main road that passes through past the market, headed towards the docks.
Got it. It wasn't clear if you were making us move or not yet.
Sure. Yeah. No, you're good. Araya, Peach, you two are headed You were headed to the docks, right? North side.
Yes,
North,
we're running
but-
along with the crowd, basically trying to herd people safely.
Yeah, trying to herd the crowd that was at the hearth.
Sounds good. You're passing through the market, you spot Seifrid and Kabeth.
Cypher, Beth. Did you get all the little ones? Are you all okay?
The little ones all went to the all went to the barn at my place.
I'll be right back. My window has glitched and it has completely vanished. Like all of Discord is not here. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a 5-minute break, and we'll just because this is a good spot.
Where did it go?
Back into
Transition.
music.
So smooth, like butter, really.
On the road that leads through the market, Kabeth, Seifert, you see Araya and Peach moving north along the road. You guys probably see each other.
Wielding a broom, like a weapon.
Beth, Seifert, are the little ones okay?
I mean, as far as we know, we sent them off to Seyfried's family farm to hide in the barn, and there's other people going that way, and we're looking for everyone else. Have you seen the rest of our friends?
Ace is going off to the physiker. He's trying to figure something out. He went to go get Ava and told us to get the rest of us out of town. The electric things, they've got the same kind of energy that Ez does. And
Yeah, I've seen them. They fry people. It's horrible. Avoid them at all costs.
Ez said that maybe they could be smothered with like dirt or a blanket or something like you can smother a fire, but don't use water on it, he said.
Electricity is bad. Metal's bad too. So that sword might not be the best thing to have.
Oh no, yeah, I kind of have this as a joke. I was kind of intending to get it back to Casey, and it's been a little while since I've seen him. But hey,
Well, don't point it at any electric puddings.
I don't plan to, you Beth. Are you going to run along with us?
No, I'm gonna go to the visitor. We lost Seyfried. Seyfried! Sam!
Sorry, I was listening, but also I spilled like just a bunch of hot tea all over my station, so it's under control.
The distant scream of indignation.
Is it getting on the floor? Patrick, do you need to go mop it up? Patrick, there might be crumbs.
I'm in a carpeted area.
Patrick, there might be mold in the carpet.
Makes mopping all the more weird.
All right. Horrors in the game are fine, but not in real life. I can't handle both.
Okay. Kabeth is just said, Seyfried, I'm gonna go to the physiker to look for Ez and everyone else. Ava, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Where are you going?
I need to make sure that everyone that went to the barn is okay, and that my folks get there. Your folks, all these people. Did we join up with who was it? Shalati and
No, the people currently at the market are Seifred, Kabeth, Araya, and Peach.
Araya and Peach. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of messages about the tea.
Spill the tea.
Is there? Sorry, my mind is everywhere. Who's at the physiker?
No, she's in character. She's asking who's the physiker.
Ez ran there to go get Ava and the physician. Oh, he's
Okay.
trying to figure something out with his own. She kind of like tries to mimic electric sparks with her hands.
Okay, so I mean, if Ez is there, Casey's there, and so Ez, Casey, Ava, What about Shalati and
Last time I saw Shalati, I left her at home with her family, rounding up her family. I assumed they went to a safe place.
Yeah, I don't know where Shalati is either.
Casey had left us there too. I don't know where Casey went. I assumed that maybe he's met up with the rest.
And Salinger went riding off after the mayor.
Hopefully he's somewhere safe.
Where's the closest safe place to the Physiker?
I don't even know if the Physiker is safe. You've seen these blue things this way too?
The next most reasonable safe place from the Physiker would probably just be the Hearth because it's north of it.
But weren't people like running screaming from the Hearth?
Yeah, but as a result of being afraid, not of puddings being there.
I may have something to do with that.
Oh, I see. Oh my god. Okay, the Physiker, is it closer to Cadney Ranch or to my farm?
About equidistant. Like, you're both at the outskirts. The Physiker's in town itself. Sorry, your farm and the Cadney Ranch are not in town. They're on the outskirts of town. The Physiker is in town. Much closer than...
I'll go to the Physiker. I can run really fast. I can outrun the I want to call them jellies. I can outrun the puddings. If you want to make sure that everybody got to your place okay, and she'll look at Peach and Aurea. What are you guys doing?
Trying to get people out of town and away from all of the things.
Then come with me.
Okay.
Where are you going again?
She's going to the barn.
I am going with the like huge group of people that we've got right around us, and guiding them to my farm and reuniting my family.
Perfect. That's great. Yes, Peach will also do that.
All right. So Rhea, Cyphered, Peach, along with the other people you're protecting, family members, start to move toward the east, off towards the farms. Kabath, you see everyone kind of going. You see your dad looks at you and he says, are you sure you're not going to come with us?
I hold up the room. I'll be fine. I'm fast. I'll see you soon.
Okay, be careful. Be careful. You can do it.
You know me. Careful's my middle name.
No, but you're joking. Okay, and he leaves. Okay, back at the Physiker. There are pops and flashes of blue coming just south of the Physiker now. It's going to just be moments before this area is overtaken with whatever's happening.
Esmond is currently flipping through where it looks like the pages that Teridian had opened the book to earlier.
Yeah, you flip through. It doesn't take you too long to find it because you kind of know where it is. There's lots of scrollings there, notes, things like that. You realize, if you had half an hour, maybe a day to study, maybe there's information to be gleaned.
Latte pokes her head inside and says, "We have to go now."
Ava is frantically rushing around the room, grabbing medical supplies of different kinds and shoving them into her bag, just pulling stuff out of drawers, and shouting over at Teridian, we have to go. Shalati, can you help him?
Teridian's pulling some supplies down, and he looks at Ichiyo and looks at the two people still lying on the ground. He says, "Can't abandon them."
Is there a wheelbarrow here? Or like some kind of stretcher or something? Travois?
Is there... Oh, like a... something like that? There are blankets that are big enough that you could fashion a travois out of them.
Okay, I think she is going to grab a blanket, and try to rig up a really hasty sort of... I guess it would just be a travois at this point, like some sticks. Something to give her something to grab onto, and then she's gonna dump all the bodies, hopefully still living bodies, together into the one thing.
You guys are using a word I don't know. What is trava?
It's like a stretcher that part of it stays on the ground.
Okay, thank you.
Esmond, you hear him slam the book and just mutter under his breath, "We can't bring them with us. If they've been hit by those blue puddings, then it's only a matter of time before they pop into more jellies, into more puddings, and begin attacking us."
We can't leave them behind either.
Roll.
This is Everett, and that's Column.
Let me have everybody roll intelligence. Well, everyone, sorry, not everyone. Everyone who is there in that physical scene.
Are you wanting us to roll a d20 and an out of 4 to it if we're good in it, or what?
Yeah, roll a d20 if let's see, analysis and observation and is like your memory and gestalt or your character's thing, then. Okay, cool. Yeah, Ava, as you hear them saying that, you realize the two people lying on the ground inside the Physiker, they're not convulsing like the others who were struck with by the blue jellies. They seem more like what happened to Fennel.
Sorry. Okay, she says, Fennel had ours. All right. I don't know if this is something that she would think would work, but Patrick thinks it will, so I'm going to give it a shot. The powder that she had, she basically goes down, kneels in front of one of them, gets some of it on her fingers, and rubs it on the gums of one of the unconscious people.
All right. Yeah, give me a roll of your medical abilities and how good of a choice that was.
Should I use my inspiration?
You can. You are inspired.
Fuck it. Hey, I'm supposed to be good at medicine.
Wait, you didn't just use yours?
I did.
Got another one after the after doing the heroic moment.
I missed that.
Just too tired.
That's a total of a 13 when you add the d6. Yeah, you apply it. It should work. You've seen people pass out from exhaustion before. Something like that. Maybe there's something going on. There's some interaction, something you didn't account for. The person you'd applied it to, they begin to convulse.
And she takes a step back, grabs motions for Shalati with the blanket. She had a blanket, right?
She's been rolling people onto it.
Yep. She says to cover him, and then we have to go cover him. We got to get out. This is what happened before. It's gonna start coming out of his mouth.
Trinity says, "Oh no!" And he rushes over to try to help.
She will start to drag the people who were already on there out.
Both of the bodies are on the blanket that you were doing, and then Ava came over and applied white powder to the gums of one of them too.
She is going to boot the convulsing one off then, and then drag the other one out. And is Toretti trying to help the convulsing person?
Yeah, you shove them off the edge of the blanket. Toretti kneels next to them, and he's like rolling them onto their side.
She's gonna grab his upper arm and like physically try to lift him and like throw him out.
What are you doing? And you easily move him. He's old and weak.
Ava's going to sort of help do the same thing. She's going to take his other arm and say, "We have to go.
No,
it's about to come out."
What? What do you know? We have to help them.
It's too late.
They're not dead. Unhand me.
Shalate drags the single person left on the thing outside and is going to roll the old lady who is still unconscious even after, or did she regain consciousness after they got ejected out of her?
The old woman who was struck by the blue jelly and saved, still unconscious, but in the street. She's a halfling. Pretty easy for you to roll her over onto the blankets.
Is there anybody left inside except for the one convulsing person?
No, and just Torettian is still trying to. You've let go of him, I assume. So it's just Ava who's holding them. Also, Casey and Esmond, you guys are present. Torettian is not struggling with Ava, but kind of grabs Ava's arm with his old gnarled claw hand and says, and we do not yet know that they are beyond saving.
She just looks at him. Her eyes are huge and pleading, but she stops struggling and lets him go and says, "It's too late. Just, it's gonna come out of his mouth, and when it does, you have to run." And she lets him go.
Looks at you and says, "There is still a chance. Stay."
Charlie is standing in the doorway.
Or help the others. Well, hold on. He's trying to. Looking at Ava, he says, "It may not be too late. Stay and help, or help the others. Do what you must do. Do what you're meant to do." And he goes to help the person convulsing on the ground. I'm sorry, and Shalati.
Shalati, after having shoved everyone out the door, is going to be standing in the doorway. She will close it if necessary, and shouts through the window. "If he turns out fine, I will carry him toward the ranch. Just go to the ranch. If he's not fine, then I will take care of it."
Okay. Oh, sorry, and I was mistaken. Casey and Esmond, you guys left already, right? You were not there?
No, Esmond was at the Physiker.
Yes, sorry.
He
Esmond
went to get the tome.
Casey had left, though.
Yeah, I went with Yev to get rid of Shalati's family.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry. So, when...
And let me know if I arrive on the scene.
Yeah,
because I'm on my way.
Yeah. So, Esmond, Shalati was trying to usher everyone out of the Physiker. Did you go out?
No, I was looking for more tomes. Anything that could help.
Okay. So, yeah. So, Shalati, I think you realized before you shut the door, Esmond's still inside.
He's definitely yelling at him. "What are you doing? Get out!"
Buddy system, remember, I'm not leaving here without you, and you're not leaving here without me.
Well, at the very least, don't keep your back turned to the thing where a thing might come out of the thing.
Torettian says, "Young Esmond, that tome you have in your hand is all of the information I have."
Esmond will pack up and run to the door by Shalati. Either let him in, or you lock the door behind you and we all leave together. We're not leaving anyone behind, though.
She says, "I'll stand in the doorway and you can watch at least. I doubt that it will be very long for this thing to happen or not happen."
How bad does the victim look currently? How bad is their convulsions?
They're convulsing violently. You've maybe seen something like... I can't remember if you were there. Or at least Shalati's...
Nope.
Maybe no one's seen it before. Yeah, he's convulsing violently. You have no idea.
Well, I guess Ava, but if she's left in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ava looks to the door where Shalati's standing and the others who are outside, and goes to kneel down on the other side of Torettian, who's looking at the patient, and she is clearly...
Before you get there, when you turn back, to head to the Fisker. You get about through the doorway, about where Shalati is, and you see 3 blue flashes. You see 3 blue puddings streaking up the road toward the Fisker.
She looks back at Teridian, she looks at Shalati, and she looks at Shalati and says, and nods affirmatively in Teridian, and she says, "They're coming down the street. There's no time. I have to go to help as many people as I can. If you have to stay, I understand." And then she turns and
Teridian says, "Close the door! Go, now!"
And she nods once and rushes towards the door, towards the street where everyone else is.
Wait, I don't understand where everyone was positioned. I thought everybody was out now at this point, except for the one unconscious person inside and Shalati at the doorway.
So Teridian was inside. You were with the Travois when he went inside. So he was there before you.
Okay, my impression was that I had pushed him out, and then it started convulsing, and that was when Ava had basically like bundled him away as well. There's no way she would have let him back inside. Like, she would have stopped pushing the body as if he tried to go back in.
Okay, I had interpreted this as you shoved the body off of the Travois before pulling it outside. So the body was still inside.
Also. That is the case.
Okay, there was a point. Sorry, maybe I could. There was a point where Teridian was trying to struggle past all of you, and you seemed to go to do something else, leaving Teridian with Ava, and then Ava let Teridian go, which would have let Teridian just go back inside to the body.
Okay, sorry. My impression was that everybody was outside. I mean, okay. Whichever way is easiest now.
Okay, well, I'll say this. If you want to physically grab Teridian and pull him away, you easily could, because he's an old Dragonborn, right? So at any time you can do that, but he is currently over the body, helping the person.
She is definitely dragging him by the ridges on the back of his neck and physically manhandling him at the door. And she will, like, regardless of what anything else says, since he seems to be determined to get back inside, she's going to shut the door.
Okay, so you physically start pulling him away, and he's, let go of me!
Esmond's gonna step in and sharply grab you on the shoulder, Shalati, and just say, "We don't have time for this. They're surrounding the building. We have one patient here that Ava may be able to help later. If Teridian insists on staying here, let him. But we need to go if we're going to save ourselves and this one other person. There is no time for debating any longer."
If I look out the door, can I see the jellies streaking through them?
Yeah, they're coming up the road. You have a few seconds, ish before they would.
She glances back to the person convulsing on the ground, and then shuts the door. With her on the outside, it's going to body check Teridian and like basically lift him over her shoulder, and then is going to start running towards the east. Well, however much she can. Someone else is going to have to take the Travois with the halfling.
Yeah, Ava's already struggling with it. She's pulling it as best she can.
Esmond will join you to help carry it as much as he can.
Okay, sounds good. As you guys begin to, we'll say you started to flee into the adjacent alleyway. Just to give orientation, the east to get over to where you've sent Casey and all of them is pretty far, right? You're looking at like a 15-minute-ish kind of jaunt through town. And you're already seeing blue flashes between you and there. There's like a wave kind of passing up from the south, moving north. Just so you have context about the decision that you're making.
So is there a clear path to either of the directions that we determined would be safe houses, either the lighthouse or the other direction?
The lighthouse is directly north, which is also where like the market and the tent and the hearth are. The farms and the barns where you sent everyone is east, and that is certainly not safe. In terms of traveling north, it just depends on how fast you travel.
Okay, that's good information. Ava's not a decision maker.
I'm seeing the flashes, seeing that the original direction that we were being blocked off that we were originally heading being blocked off by flashes of light, as Minnow just announced. This way isn't looking any good. We need to head north, maybe towards the lighthouse. We're gonna have to move quickly and find the most direct route out of town.
Lottie doesn't say anything to this, but is just going to alter her route to head north.
Mm-hmm. Ava follows whichever direction Esmond is trying to pull the thing. She's clearly straining, not a strong person.
Yeah, there's a desperate and outraged kind of groan and cry from Teredian, but he's powerless to stop you as you haul him north. It's just as you're reaching the hearth. There are still quite a number of people there. You see Kabeth bounding coming south from the market on the opposite side of the hearth. A lot of people have left the hearth, but there's still, a quarter of the town is probably still there.
Is my dad there?
Quickly glancing around, it's so crowded it's hard to see from where you are now.
Do I see them?
Yeah.
I'm going to come running over. I'm holding a broom and waving it wildly, and I'm like, "Where are they?"
Where? Who? Who are you talking about? We're here.
The blue puddings.
The meeting are safe.
They're behind us and quickly surrounding the town. We need to get everyone out now.
You hear a voice, Esmond! And you see kind of hopping, standing on the hearth. I'm trying to look over the crowd. You see your dad. You also glancing that way. You guys see Gilgain and Parsnip. Some of those people are there.
And just to confirm, I did not see Ez's mom with Araya and Peach, correct?
Correct.
I thought she came with me.
No, she went running off looking for Esmond.
No!
We're trying to make it to the lighthouse.
Escort quests, man.
I sent everybody else to Seyfried's family's farm. A lot of people are heading that way too.
Good, that's smart. But the town is slowly being surrounded. A lot of exits are being cut off. We need to start shifting north.
So as soon as you say that, you hear a fresh scream from the people there at the hearth, and you see people pointing. And you see up on the rooftops on the southern side of the hearth's kind of town square, you see little blue balls starting to appear as bounding across the rooftops. What looks like a dozen or so blue puddings appear on the rooftops.
Scream, "They'll kill you! Get out of town! Run!"
At the top of his lungs, run north to the lighthouse!
Yeah,
How close are the docks?
The docks are past the market. It's a little farther north. That's like, it's not too long. 5 minutes.
To the docks.
Okay. People begin to scream and try to rush north, but they're kind of crowding into each other, bumping into each other into the narrow confines that leave the hearth heading north. You see the blue puddings. They're not rushing toward you. They're not attacking. But instead, you see several of them begin to hop down. One of them rolls into another one. Another one hops down, rolls into that one. And very soon, all of the blue puddings, even more of them jumping down from the rooftops, 24 of them now, begin to roll into each other, gaining mass. And very soon, there's a very large blue pudding right there at the southern edge of the hearth. You see it for a little, it begins to jiggle and wiggle. And there's a limb that sticks out on one side and then kind of flaps. There's another limb comes out, kind of forms into claw, and then it stands up, begins to shake, and ruffles up. And what you seeing before you, almost 12 feet tall, blue, jiggling, coursing with lightning, a beautiful pudding version of a blue Laurel chicken. It squawks, lightning arcs up into the air. It flaps its wings. Everyone's screaming.
I'm holding my broom like a weapon, and I'm shaking, but I'm holding it, and I'm like, "Get behind me!" It's a giant electric chicken.
I think Lotte is just staring at this thing, just at this flat, completely disbelieving look. Like she has no more energy for any more emotions about anything.
Fucking Christ. Where's it? Oh, there's a lot to take in. Where's it looking?
It's looking at the crowd. It's looking at all of you. People are screaming. You can tell there's no way everyone's getting out of this hearth.
I yell at this chicken thing and I say, if you hurt my friends and family more, I will sweep you out of town!
Those people who are fleeing north towards the lighthouse, you see a bright blue light coming from the south, from the hearth. Probably even those who have already fled over into the east, there are arcs of blue lightning coming from the hearth up into the air. You see that the chicken starts to kick its lightning claw kind of in the dirt, ruffles its feathers.
Esmond,
Do I have
help.
any?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Esmond, come on, help. Maybe throw fire behind us or something. I don't know. We have to go. And she's really trying to drag this thing as fast as she can. She's just, sweat is pouring off of her at this point.
Okay, DM, paint me a picture. Where is the 12-foot lightning jelly chicken in relation to our group of people that have just coalesced?
You're in a town square. This giant blue Laurel lightning chicken is about 15 feet south of you.
Okay, and
15 feet? Holy shit.
Yeah, Shalati.
Okay. Shalati sets Teridium back down on his feet, presuming that the way back to the physical is blocked by this thing now, so hopefully he won't try to run right back into his arms. However, she's not controlling him anymore, so... and then she is going to pull out a ration and, like, just a pack of, like, a slice of bread or something, a sandwich that they had made before heading back to the hearth in the evening before everything happened. And she flings it at the jelly and is going to dash toward the west. And it basically shouts and says, "Hey, over here! I've got food!"
All right, so you go dashing towards the west after throwing this satchel of banana bread, dashing towards the western side of the hearth. What's everyone else? Everyone else who's there, give me some idea of what you're doing.
Shit. Esmond is going to start pulling on the pulling the blanket with Ava as well to drag the patient. But can he spot his dad and Gilgain?
Yeah, you see them. They're all there. A lot of the people have just turned and fled, but you can see that your dad, Gilgain, Parsnip, they're not quite fleeing. Their eyes are wide. They're a little bit farther north than you. They're close by, but they're kind of gesturing for all of you to run, run.
Okay, we'll try and drag the body. I'm gonna try and lead Ava to run towards everybody else, dragging the body, while Shalati is trying to distract the chicken, and Esmond is just going to announce to Kibeth, if Shalati is able to pull that thing away, you stay with her at all times. Okay, you guys work together and make sure no one gets hurt.
You got it.
And sorry, Esmond, what is he physically doing? You said he's dragging somebody?
Assisting Ava with dragging the patient on the blanket that we brought from the Physiker.
Ava, just to confirm, is that what you're doing? You're dragging the Trevlon north? Okay.
Yeah, whichever direction Esmond is going, she seems lost. Her eyes keep darting around, looking between the giant jelly and the people scrambling around, some of them falling over. And it seems as though she's fighting an instinct to rush towards the people who, even the ones that are just falling and getting scraped knees. Instead, she's just dragging in whichever direction Esmond is going.
All right. Charlotte, you've thrown the bread. The chicken snatches out of the air. There's a spark of lightning and a pop and boiling curl of smoke, and then it looks at you, and then it starts to dash toward you. Give me a roll for, you can choose pure speed, trying to outrun this thing, or you can try to dodge it, or what do you want? How do you want to approach this?
I think she wants to get more distance on it, so she is probably going to try and run. So yeah, since she wants to pull it away from everyone else.
Okay, but
is that
pure,
also a strength thing?
Pure,
or
it depends. Are you? It's your approach to it. So do you want to purchase with pure speed, or do you want to outthink this thing? Or you tell me what your strategy is.
Is there actually enough room for her to do a straight dash? Because if not, then she's just going to have to jink around it. Given everyone running.
You could do a straight dash towards the west because people are mostly running north, so that you could try to get through.
Okay. Yeah, she's just going to try and straight dash west then.
All right, give it a roll.
Here. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
All right. Natural 20. All right, you take off sprinting to the west, and this thing squawking, flapping its wings that chases after you. You can almost feel it impacting the ground. You can see blue light almost overtaking you. You run through an alley. You hear a crash as everyone else sees it flap its wings, fly up on top of this building, and smash halfway through it. Pieces of wood splintering all over the place as it's chasing after Charlotte heading west.
Weirdly, as she is running west, she is grinning and laughing.
So the people who just saw that happen, Charlotte is running west. What is everyone else in? Actually, let me do a different scene. Over in the east, all of the people who are heading out towards the farms, you have all reached the place where Charlotte's family was gathered at the stones, the Finding Stones. It's just outside of the main town, sort of getting into the fields, heading towards the farms, pretty close to the barns and things that you're heading towards. However, as you're all, and for convenience sake, you're kind of arriving from different directions at the same time, so this is going to be Seyfried, Salinger, right, Casey, Casey. You see people in the field at the Sanding Stones. You can see Ember with he's got a shovel in his hand, and you can see Ash, one of the older members of Charlotte's family. They're in the midst of fending off what seems to be leaping jellies, but they're not blue. They seem to be the muted gray color, like that came out of fennel in the Physiker.
Yeah, as soon as Casey sees this, he's going to start running that direction.
All right, Casey takes off in a sprint. Seyfried, what are you doing? He said, yeah, Viz. No! And he takes off running with Casey, shovel in hand. Salinger, you're there as well, guiding the horse. People still on the back of it.
Am I still in a state where running would not work for me?
It would be painful, but you could do it if you pushed yourself.
Okay. So he'll look at the people on the horse and say, just keep heading towards the farm, and he'll limp after the rest of them as best he can.
Okay.
Be careful. Be careful. Bring them back here. What the hell is that thing? And Seyfried will continue shepherding people towards the farms, keeping an eye out for her mom as they get closer.
Okay. Yeah. Eyes wide, people gasping. You can see some people are falling behind, shocked at what they're seeing, but you manage to usher them forward. You can see that Quebec's dad looks like he wants to break away and head to help. You can see him start to move that direction. What do you do?
I'll run up and intercept him.
All right, what do you say? He says, I want to help.
It's too dangerous. We need to get everyone out of town. We can't just keep running in there.
All right, roll persuasion. All right, 12 on the die. Do you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he says, no, we can't let him do it alone. I have to help. And he just kind of, little satyr goes bounding past you, running to help with the fight. You would have to leave the rest of your family and the others to go after him.
By old, he means like a spry man who's like 35. Sorry, movie's in his 40s.
Does the path ahead, like, are we close enough that we can see where the barns and stuff are? Like, can I visually
just barely.
gauge if it seems?
Yeah, just barely.
Okay. Does it seem like? I mean, like watching people running in that direction towards the barns and stuff. Are there any obvious signs of danger? Like,
not obvious,
visible?
But it's knee-high grass. Anything could be in it.
Ooh.
No, wild Pokemon.
She hesitates and then runs to try to intercept him one more time.
All right. Yeah, you go bounding after him. Let's see. Okay, back at the hearth. The chickens just smashed through a building heading west after Shalati. Everyone else but Shalati. How are you reacting to this?
I raise my broom higher, very threateningly.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, Esmond is going to continue to try and lead Ava north towards the other group. Just try and keep her focused. Like, we've got one patient, all right? Let's make sure that this one remains okay. And he's going to announce to Kebeth, Kebeth, I need your help. Shalati, there's nothing that we can do to help Shalati right now, so we need to just do what we can to continue to get people out of town. I need you to try and run ahead of the group. And he gestures towards the group of people still fleeing from the hearth, heading north. Try to get ahead of people. Tell them to head north towards the lighthouse, which is where we're trying to go. Try to keep things calm and prevent people from being hurt or getting crushed. From people panicking. Okay.
I mean, getting ahead is my thing. Yeah, you got it. And she runs off and she's like, "Run for your lives!"
Roll persuasion.
Oh, giant jelly thing coming! Run to the lighthouse!
Good. Give a persuasion roll.
I work with the pieces I'm given.
Like I said, she's intelligent but not wise.
Ooh. Anything to add to that?
16 total.
16 total, yeah. See people in a panic. Some of them were starting to run in random directions, but they glance your way. They look towards the lighthouse. They start running that way.
As we approach Gilgane and Mulgwood, just say, okay, we've got one person here that is unconscious, but we're trying to drag them along. We're heading north towards the lighthouse. There are groups of people split between some of the eastern ranches and the lighthouse currently. I'm doing the best I can right now, Dad.
Yeah, Mulgwit says, come on, let's go. We have to, come on, let's get out of here. Gilgain says, the safest place is likely the lighthouse, but young Shalati, she's in danger.
She is. Do me a favor. Find another villager, someone bigger and stronger than Ava or I, and have them help drag this patient towards the lighthouse. Doc, can you stay with the patient?
She sort of just nods.
Okay.
Mulgwit says, I'm not leaving you, Ez. Come on.
Dad, I'm not leaving Shalati behind. We have a buddy system in place, right? And I'm not going to get hurt, and she's not going to get hurt either.
No, he looks down the ground. You can see him calculating, doing the math in his head. Just, right, buddy system. Okay. And he looks at you, nods. Take care of them.
Are they able to find another villager to help Ava?
Yeah, there's people around. They're like grabbing a dock worker and.
Okay, great. Yeah, Esmond is going to. Esmond is going to pull out a pair of rubber gloves that he has in his satchel, slip them on, and try to run after the path. That's
probably leather, probably not rubber.
Fair. Yeah. He'll just try and follow as best as he can behind the path that the giant chicken is leaving.
All right, sounds good. Running that way. You say Turetian. He has occupied himself. So the next best thing he can do. There's some wounded people. Looks like one of them maybe has a broken leg. He's trying to help them move north towards the lighthouse. Eve, what are you doing?
Ava continues on for a short distance and then tries to flag another person larger than herself to help drag the thing, hopefully faster. She's pretty tired at this point, pretty worn out. And if their path takes them past a bar of any kind, she's going to try to rush inside and grab very strong, a couple of bottles of really strong alcohol as they make their way to the lighthouse. But she's not going to go far out of the way to do so.
Okay, I'll let you know if you find a bar with some liquor or a pub. Okay, at farther north, on the winding road that goes next to the docks towards the lighthouse, Aurea, Peach. You're on the road. You see arcs of lightning coming from the south. People are rushing north. Looks like pandemonium. What do you do?
I'm going to help guide people to the lighthouse in a way. But she's going to start working her way back, trying to find the people that she cares about, since trouble's there. Safety's there.
Okay. Are you physically traveling towards the lighthouse or back towards the hearth?
Helping people forward, helping anybody that's like of the villagers, and then
I feel like Peach would be stalling with Aurea. Like we're like encouraging people to go on past. We're like making sure people get past this checkpoint, and we'll catch up to you all in a moment once we make sure everybody's gotten through.
Yeah. Well, so we're heading south because now this town is kind of crazy, and she hasn't seen her friends.
Okay, so you're physically traveling south, but ushering people north as you go?
Yes.
Okay, sounds
Peach,
good.
Peach would be keeping pace with Aurea because she's also nervous about friends, and she's looking out for her mom as well if she sees her.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask for some clarification real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that when Kabeth and I met up with Aurea and Peach, that they, I guess, were heading in the same direction as like Seifert and the people that were gathered there at the time. And that's not north, like towards the lighthouse, right? Like going towards the farm is in like the opposite.
Not opposite, but it is perpendicular. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what was decided. I can't remember what was decided there, but if you guys are heading towards the lighthouse, that is not the same direction as the barns and the farmlands.
No, they were going towards where we sent the younger siblings. That's where Safer was going. I thought that Araya and Peach were going with them.
That's what I thought as well. I'm just asking for clarification. So they
that may have been said. So I guess to just ask the two of them, which way did you guys end up deciding to go after you left them? Did you curve towards the lighthouse, or are you going towards the farms?
We went for the lighthouse, I think. Araya was talking about the safety of the sea, and I don't know. It seemed right-ish, seemed safe enough.
Okay, so you didn't go with Safer because that's what you guys said. That's confusing.
No, I think it was to go with help family. Help. Always going to choose the helping option.
We can. It's fine. Confusing things happen. So,
Lighthouse wasn't discussed when that part was happening, so like that wasn't a target goal.
That's fine. I'm going to ask them to answer which way they decided to go in the end. So, do you guys want to go towards the farmlands, and that's in the east, or did you want to not do what you told them that you would do and go towards the lighthouse, which is closer? I think the way this came up is because when I described to the Fisker party that the lighthouse was way closer, that may have been when that decision had gotten confused for Araya and for Peach. So
yeah, I know that wasn't an option.
It is always an option. They can go where they want to, but
when we were leaving the town, we were getting everybody to go north and escape. When we ran into Siegfried and Kabeth, I think that we had decided to go with them to help the little kids. But like we had been getting people to go north.
Okay, sorry. Totally. That's totally fun. Peach, you agree with that? You good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
She would not have gone off on her own buddy system. She's sticking with Araya. So if that's what Araya would have decided, Peach would have gone with her.
Sounds good. Okay, so for some clarity, you are actually over in the east in that scene where some people have just taken off to run to help Shalati's family fight what looks like some gray puddings. So you're over in the east in the farmlands, not close to the lighthouse. Then you see Kabeth's dad go taking off in a run. You see Seifert go chasing after him. How do you guys want to respond to that?
I have a very dangerous mop broom dual wield.
Where do you go? What do you do?
She just sort of like looks at Peach. I have killed one of those before. I could do this. I could do this. She's running with both the broom and the mop. I've got a broom and a mop. That is well more armed than I was before.
Right.
You know, we can. Peach is like slightly behind because I think her stride is shorter than Araya's. But she's coming with the longsword, kind of carefully tucked in her belt.
Okay, running to join the fight. Sounds good. Okay, everyone who is running to join the fight, I want you to roll. Roll basically strength. This is how just fast your character can sprint. The exception is Seifert because you're going after the dead.
That's a wasted 20.
20s are never wasted.
I'm real fast this time.
The amount of natural
don't know them.
This game is absurd.
I mean, you might be saving one of my siblings right now, so.
Our characters are OP.
All right. Looks as though, Araya with a natural 20. You arrive first as you see a gray jelly leap out of the tall grass, flying straight for Ash's face. What do you do?
I am like gonna push aside the kid and have like my brooms to like whack at it.
Give it a roll. For how good Araya is at swing. That's another natural 20. As this gray pudding leaps through the air, you swing your broom. There's almost a pause as it impacts, and then the splatter of gray pudding goes flying through the air, splattered through the field. Pudding is dead.
Araya, the demon pudding slayer.
Apparently.
She's like swirl of broom and a swirl of skirts and turns. It's the kid. It's like your little brother.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, you tell me what this looks like. Yeah, actually, is this this pudding leaps at Shalati's sister.
Oh, I'm fine with it getting completely disintegrated. That sounds amazing. But sort of, she just like the perfect like baseball like.
Yeah, you hear Shalati's family screaming in the all
swirls
around.
And turns to the kid. Broom down. Are you okay?
The 4-year-old and the 3-year-old just go like.
Yeah, Ash looks up to you with big eyes, breathing heavy, tears glistening near her eyelids. Casey, you're approaching kind of from the other. You're in the same area, other side of the fight. You see a gray pudding leaps through the air. Ember kind of bats it away with the shovel, but stumbles a little bit, and another pudding leaps out of the tall grass, going right for his face.
Yeah. I think on the way there, as soon as Casey took off running towards this, he reached down to his belt where the sword was, feeling nothing but the edge of his pants. He's like, damn it. Looks back up, kind of shakes it off as he's running mid-run, and he says the word focus again in primordial, just and click and snaps his fingers, and as he approaches, the fire grows and bursts out from his hand, and when he comes up, he kind of swings to the side so that he is close to, who was it that was ducking?
Ember, which is Shalati's slightly younger brother.
Perfect. Yeah, he kind of slides up next to Ember so that he has a direct on shot and throws the fire straight forward at the jelly at him.
Give it a roll. Oh, it's a 2 plus a 2.
No, I'm inspired.
Give it a roll. That is an 8 plus a 2 for a 10. Yeah, you go swinging, but there's a miss. It sails through the air.
Can I collide into Ember as I'm coming or through the side?
Had you rolled a bit better, you could have. It strikes like the middle of your stick, or sorry, not the middle of your stick. There's a flare of red, and it sails past, going through his face. It's Salinger. You're just maybe barely close enough to help. There's a gray jelly leaping towards Ember's face, inches away.
He instinctively jumps in the way and tries to swat it down, but he doesn't have a weapon, so he's just
barehanded. Yeah. Give it a roll.
I mean, I got an inspiration.
It's a 9 on the die. Inspired. Ooh, 18. Yeah, you swat through the air, grab this gray jelly in your hand. You immediately feel the burning as acid starts to boil your skin, but you manage to grab the thing, hurl it away. Ember stumbles back, eyes wide. Seifred, you can see Kebeth's father bounding forward. You have one more chance to try to stop him.
She'll run up and gently grab his arm as she's like catching up to him. Please, we have to go.
All right. Are you physically trying to restrain him, or are you trying to convince him?
I'm trying to convince him.
Okay. Give it a roll. Ooh, natural 20. Yeah, he looks at you.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Her ears are back. Her eyes are wide.
Yeah, he glances towards the fight, glances back at you. Your big, giant, shiny eyes, ears folded down. And he says, "Oh, you're right. Let's get out of here."
Okay, come on. And Seifert will also like sort of sweep around to pick up any other stragglers and like usher them towards the farm.
Sounds good. Get the nearby people, starting moving them towards the barn. But Peach, yep, you see Zach, one of Shalati's other brothers. There's a gray pudding, one on his left, leaps at him, he ducks. Another one leaps at him, he bats it away with a shovel. He spins around, stumbles a bit. One leaps up for his face. You're close enough. What do you do?
Try to whack it out of the way with the sword, but I'm not trying to slice it. I'm trying to like smack it with the sword blade.
Blunt side smack it?
Yes.
All right, give it a roll. It's a 7 on the die. Anything to add to that?
Sure. I imagine Peach has a
You've never
variety
swung a
of-
sword before in
Never
your
swung a
life.
sword.
though. Yeah.
No, but I've swung other things.
Okay. What kind of experience does Peach have in this sort of thing? What's a thing from your past that would add to this moment?
I just imagine Peach needing to swat the occasional person out of the bar, and she would do it with a broom handle or a mop or, a rolling pin if necessary. And a sword is much bigger than that. But the principle is still the same. Swatted a thing, hit the thing.
Okay.
And
yeah.
she did nail that pudding earlier.
Well, if you're pretty good at it, then roll a d4. If it's your best thing, roll a d6. All right, that's a 4. That's a total of an 11. Are you good with that roll?
No, I'm inspired. I'll do that 20 again.
All right, give it a roll. Ooh, 15 on the die, plus 4 for a 19. It leaps at his face. Swing that sword, whack, impact. You send this jelly flying off into the grass. Nicely done. You see Zach, panting, stumbles, looks at you, and gives you an approving nod, then adjusts his grip on the shovel. Back at the hearth. Shalati, there's a crashing of wood, a glow of blue, 12-foot tall, lightning blue Laurel chicken flies across the alleyway into the building. Above you, you hear the shattering, splintering of boards. You can feel it. It's just behind you. Outrunning it with pure speed. Worked as you took off, but now it's got momentum. You can't outrun it now. You got to figure out another way to get away.
What are the buildings around me made out of? And are there hidey holes and stuff?
Most of the buildings' frameworks are wood, but there's like sloping sort of build where like it lets grass grow on top of things, if that makes any sense. But the structures are mostly wood and clay and stuff like
that. Is there a well or anything nearby?
Yeah, there's a well. If you were to take a sharp turn and run to the south a block or so, there's a well that way.
Okay, I think she's going to try and dodge around a building and then basically make some sharp turns to try and get out of sight of the thing, and then head toward the well to try and take cover in it.
All right. Roll a test of Shalati's like dexterity for like changing direction and avoiding this chicken as it looks at you.
16.
All right, 12 on the die plus 4 for a 16. Yep, you managed to duck out of the way. There's a slash of a jelly-like chicken claw kind of through the grass. It sends debris flying, but you managed to leap out of the way. The well's right there in front of you.
She runs toward it, dives. Is this one of the ones where there's like the rope is attached to a winch, or is it just like people just lower it down by hand, manual?
Yeah, no, there's definitely like a little winch thing. There's even a thing where you could connect it to the town's like pulley system so that it could like kind of pull it up for you as the wind blows the windmills.
Okay. I don't think she has the time for that, but she prays that the winch is still solid because she's gonna leap down and dive into the water and she's gonna grab the rope and jump in.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, you leap forward, grab on the thing, and go flying down. Give me a roll of Shalati's, like, I think this would more than likely also be dexterity based. It's sort of like doing this smoothly without getting hurt.
14 total.
14 total. Yeah, you get some scrapes and bumps, and you smack pretty hard. Kind of as the water splashes, there's like a kink in your shoulder, but you manage not to bump your head as you fall down there. You can see blue light up above you, and you see the jelly standing over the well. It's much larger than the well itself, but you see it looking down at you with its chicken face, kind of going back and forth, looking down at you. Esmond, you were chasing after, if I recall. Is that right? Was anyone else going with Esmond in chasing? Okay, Esmond, you slide around the corner, following the debris, the signs of carnage. You see the chicken with its back to you, looking down into a well. You're not sure why. You don't see Shalati. You see it starts to claw at the ground. You see some stone at the top of the well cracks.
You said that it's Shalati isn't there, but it's peering down at the well and kind of like clawing at the ground around the well.
Yeah, like a chicken trying to get at a worm.
Are there any no. Okay. Are there any big rocks or metallic pieces somewhere lying somewhere around?
Yeah, there's a big rock right next to you.
Okay, but how big? Esmond isn't necessarily the strongest.
There's a variety of rocks because there's debris from buildings being shattered.
Okay, I'm going to pick up one of those, and I am going to try and throw it across the street to try and see if I can pull it away from the well.
Okay, are you trying to throw it like just off to the side somewhere?
I'm trying to throw it like away from me and a short distance away from the well. I want to try and I want to attempt to distract it away from the well and move on to looking for something else.
Okay. It could work. Just as a context reminder, there's all sorts of sounds of people screaming, not coming from not that far away. So the sound of a rock hitting might be lost in all of that, but it could work. And I don't want you to think it's silent right now.
Okay. In that case, can I try and throw a rock to like peg it in the back and then immediately duck back behind this building that I'm currently at the corner of?
Yeah, you totally try. Give it a roll. Nice. It's a 12. Anything to add to that for the throw?
Nope.
All right. Yep. This rock strikes the jelly in the back and sort of like slows down, but it passes kind of through it, right? Like it's partially liquid. You can see the rock kind of inside of it, kind of drifting down. The chicken's body inverts and its head gets sucked into the front of its body and then sticks out the back, and it turns around backwards the entire way. Roll for how quickly you're able to hide. It's a 4 on the die.
I am going to use an inspiration finally.
Your first inspiration.
Let's roll a 20.
Natural 20 on the die.
Oh my god.
Yep. As soon as that thing leaves your hand, you go rolling off to the side into the remains of a house. You see this chicken inverts, turns back inside down. You see it looking back and forth through the street, doesn't see you. Takes a couple steps. You see it like digging through debris across the street. It doesn't find you.
I'm going to start moving around. I'm going to start moving around the alleyway that I'm in. Try and stay hidden away from the chicken, and make my way back to closer towards the well. And I'm not approaching the well. I want to keep an eye on the chicken, however, and I want to make sure that it leaves the area before I make any other decisions.
All right, sounds good. You circle around. You're getting very close to the well. You've pretty much reached it. You see the chickens digging through the debris of the building it thought you were coming from, and then it perks its head up, looks towards the town square, takes off flying and running and flying and hopping in that direction. You reach the well.
Charlotte, you down there?
Yes. Is that... wait, what are you doing here? And she's gonna start climbing up the rope.
Buddy system, jackass. How many times do I have to keep telling you?
Trying to give you time to get away.
Yeah, and I was trying to make sure that you didn't die.
Charlotte starts to climb. Esmond, you could crank to help.
Yeah, absolutely cranking. Saying all this as I'm doing what I can to help her up. It's moving back towards the hearth, though. It's heading back to everyone else, so we need to try and pull it away again.
No reason to make you roll for it, but it does take time as you're cranking and climbing. Just like to get up. Back in the east, looking around, everyone with their makeshift weapons in hand, glancing back and forth. You know that the gray puddings are still in the grass somewhere, but you don't see any yet.
They're in the grass, the tall grass?
Mm-hmm. You haven't destroyed all of them.
Are the ones that we knocked to the ground, like, congealing back together at all? Can we see anything like that? I mean, if we have, for example, dark vision?
Some of them just got batted away into the tall grass, so they're just out there somewhere.
Right, like, didn't
Expedious
Salander, like,
tree.
explode one?
I reach into my cloak and pull out the lighter that Esmond gave me.
Lighter in hand.
Give it a spark.
Give it a roll to see if it lights.
He exhales hard. Gives it a spark.
Oh, dang it, it's not working.
Wait, is it a D20 or D6 to spark it?
D6.
I roll a D20. I roll a D20. Sorry.
Yeah, roll a D6.
He furrows his brow, sparks it again.
Oh, dang it. Doesn't light. You hear some rustling in the tall grass.
Casey yells, get the others away. It's about to get hot. And he puts the lighter away and prepares to do something else.
All right. What's everyone else doing?
Are we in earshot of Casey?
Yeah, you guys are all in the same area. Peach, Salinger.
Peach would yell, "What are you... Casey, are you going to try to start a fire?"
I'm going to sweep these kids up into my skirts and get them the heck out of there.
All right. Rhea grabs some kids, starts running towards the north, or towards the barn.
How many total kids were there that we were near? Just the two?
In terms of people who are here right now, you have Ash and Ember, siblings of Shalati, is just a little bit younger. Yev is also there. He's the one from the caves. He has a shovel in his hand. Zach also has a shovel. You see probably the younger ones.
What species
Aster.
Are these?
Yeah, so Ash and Ember, or Ash is an Eladrin girl, and then Ember is a satyr. He's the one who had Esmond's wrench earlier. Yev is the one from the tunnels, who was at the bridge. He's a Goliath. Zach's also a Goliath, so they're a little taller. Aster who is quite a bit younger. I mean, full-on child, is a minotaur. Short little horns, though, like nubby horns. And then you have a very young Yanti named Amaru. And so those younger ones probably are with Araya, kind of at her skirts as she's fleeing with them. That leaves like the teenagers kind of still around.
So Sal's going to call to Yev and the other teenager with the shovels and say, all right, back to back. I want to be able to see from all sides. You can stay close to me, give Casey a little room. And I'll tug on Yev.
All right, yeah. Give me a roll for how good Sal is at like directing others and like coordinating and stuff like that. It's an 11 on die plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
and
yeah.
Peach assist if she's there.
We're not doing like a mechanical assist thing.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. But yeah, the two of them kind of go back to back, but they bump into each other a little bit, but they're kind of doing it.
Challenger, do you want like a proper weapon? This thing is. I was gonna get back to Casey, but he's gonna set a fire. So, do you want this thing?
Are you talking about the sword so I can get the visual
Yeah.
context?
Yes, the sword.
Yeah. He holds his hand out.
Yeah, Peach would hand it over like sword butt first. Does Sal have any weapons right now? Did he take something from the? Does he have anything that's like on easily seen?
Sal has a burned hand, a splinted ankle, a bruised rib, and a bruised ego. That's all he has to defend himself with.
All right, good. Then not good, but Peach would say, you can do much more damage with this than I can. Just make sure not to split them in twain, right?
Right. Hit him with the flat end, and he'll hold it with his offhand that's not singed.
You'll have more force behind it than I will, and I was able to knock one of them out of the sky, so. And then Peach would sort of scurry off with Araya.
I think
You can have my extra mop.
Yeah, I think
she would accept it.
Oh no, we lost Sal. Casey, what are you doing?
That sword was too powerful.
Yeah, so this tall grass that presumably all of the slimes are in. How widespread is this tall grass?
You're in fields, farmlands. It's a lot. Spring's beginning.
Does it go right up to the barn?
No, there's area cleared around the barn.
Yeah. His back is to Sal and the Shalati's other brothers. And he puts the lighter away and tries it one more time. Does it?
Casey, what if it just turns them into fire ones?
Peach shouts.
Fire I can handle. And he snaps his fingers. And fire erupts in his hand once again. And he moves over towards the tall grass.
All right. Yeah, flames burst to life in your hands. You approach. You're wrestling at the left, wrestling at your right.
Yeah, I'll kind of throw it to the one that's closer to the people that are moving away.
All right. Yeah, there's a A blast of flame from your hand ignites the tall grass with ease. A warm red glow starts to fill the area. Grass is catching a flame. You hear urgent rustling movements in the tall grass. Sal, you never got a chance to respond. Are you still there?
Sean's having a little bit of trouble on Discord, but I think he's going to try and log back on.
Okay. Let's then back on the other side. Ava, you around?
Yeah, it takes me a second to press the talk button, but yes, I'm here.
All right, sounds good. Remind me, I lost track. Where's Kid Bath right now?
Ez told her to guard someone. Was it Ava with someone? Like
Yeah, I think you're there.
an unconscious person? Yeah, I also wasn't sure where I was supposed to be.
As suggested that you run back and forth to help people, help direct people north out of the town, and to assist Ava if she needs any help at all.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, Kabeth, you're kind of in the area. Ava, you're the travois is being pulled by dock workers. Beth's kind of running back and forth, but for convenience sake, I'm going to have you in the same area. Where is Ava trying to go?
Ava is headed towards the lighthouse, staying somewhat in the vicinity of the patient, but not really doing anything, and trying to mentally, as they're moving, figure out if she can find a place where she can get like a pub of some kind to run in and grab something. But otherwise, she's just headed towards the lighthouse.
You've just ducked into the Dry Iron pub. And there was a full bottle of liquor at the bar. It's the kind that it really burns your throat. It's one the dwarves really like. It's the kind that if you want it, like, this is the kind of stuff that you got to be careful with because it'll burst into flame. Yeah, and so you're just coming out of there and you spot Kabeth.
I think I wouldn't go inside. I'd be washing the door.
He's outside. He's just coming outside when he sees you.
I went into the bar, grabbed the bottle, came back out, and now I'm in the street.
Okay. I'm standing there holding the broom, like keeping an eye out for danger.
Okay. Yeah. Ava has the thing. She's tucking the bottle, securing it inside of her satchel. She's moving it and sort of nods in Kabeth's direction and continues to sort of make her way towards the lighthouse, glancing around to sort of...
Yeah. It's just as you're starting to move towards the lighthouse again, Kabeth there with you. Kabeth probably sees it first, but a blue glow, a hue kind of overtakes that area. You hear the cracking of wood rising up onto one of the rooftops of the buildings just south of you. Apparently, Shalati lost it, or it lost her, or she's dead, because you see the chicken emerge on the rooftop, looking at the crowd of fleeing people.
Okay, I'm gonna try to distract it and get it to follow me. You go as fast as you can. Get to safety.
She just sort of wide-eyed stares at that and nods at her, and as Kabeth starts to run away, she shouts after her, I think it hates fire! And then she just sort of continues to make her way towards the lighthouse with the crowds of people looking for the patient and trying to then go back and move close to them and the people who are carrying the patient.
You're able to tell really quickly that if this thing's just south of you, 25 feet or so now, if it goes after the crowd, the slower ones will not get away.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to do something.
All right, what do you want to do?
So I look at him like, fire out of me, fucking fire! So I raise my brew up and I yell, hey, chicken thing! I'm really hungry and I'm gonna eat you next!
Nice. All right, you shouted at it. Looks at you. What do you do?
What?
Yeah, you shouted it, and you wave your stick, and it looks at you. And then what do?
It looks at me.
Yeah.
And I look back at it, and I'm like, I mean it. I'll eat all of you.
All right.
just
It
standing there
goes
facing
leaping
it
off the roof and comes down, flying towards you, trying to get you with a claw.
I am going to start running in the opposite direction of I don't know where the crowd is, and I don't know where Ava is compared to me.
Sounds good. Give us a roll of how quick you are on your feet, and you feel a burst of speed. You can roll with advantage.
I roll 2 5s. I'm going to use my inspiration for that. Thank you.
Good idea. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
5, 5, 1.
No.
You start to kick off the ground. You're so fast. You see this thing in the air, flapping its wings, coming down onto you. You realize you're fast, but you're not fast enough. That's when you feel impact and your shoulder knock you to the side. You see Teredian. Chicken comes down atop him. Flashes of blue lightning, tearing of claws, pecking of a jelly beak.
Sorry, I rolled badly.
There on the ground, you see blue Laurel chicken tear into the old dragonborn. Picks him up, swallows him whole. There inside. Chicken raises its head in the air, and blast of lightning goes up into the air. Ava, you see this?
How close am I to the hearth?
You guys have moved farther north, so you're probably past the markets at this point.
Okay. Are there any candles or anything like that nearby? Is there any flame of any kind?
There's certainly probably some candles in people's homes, but nothing. No, there's people carrying torches and stuff. Certainly, yeah. So there are some torches around. But as this happens, you feel a hand grip yours, Ava. Maybe the outside of your knee. Gilgain, teacher. Get out of here! Get out of here, girl!
She looks back desperately at the monster, still terrified, and down at the teacher, and just sort of starts to freezes for a second.
Just in that moment that you freeze, Gilgain, teacher, steps forward, kind of hunched. And you see him start to kind of ruffle his robes. You see small little glows around his hand. Kabath! Kabath! Get out of there!
Oh, I was trying to help. Oh, she's stepping back.
Yeah, he managed to get up and crawl or step backwards into a nearby alleyway. As the glow kind of goes around Gilgain's hand, the blue Laurel chicken moves its head, staring at him.
Ava starts to run away from where he is, where the monster is, and glances back over her shoulder occasionally as she's starting to run. After she makes it 10, 15 feet or something, she kind of stops and turns around, still torn. She takes a few steps back. She tries to continue to run. She's got no idea what she's doing. She's panicking.
The blue Laurel chicken again starts to turn towards Kibeth, but from Gilgain's hand there's a little bead of little bluish energy that flies out and boom, kind of plinks the chicken. It staggers a little bit and whips its head back around. Ava, you've gotten just far enough away, managed to back away. Staggering Kibeth, you've gotten away into the alley. As the blue Laurel chicken turns its head, raises its wings and flaps them, and there's a blast of lightning that cuts out from the chicken's beak, carves through the ground, through Gilgain the teacher, through a swath of the crowd, turns them to ash. People are screaming, no longer all running towards the lighthouse, ducking into alleys in the homes, anywhere they can get.
After a moment, which probably feels like a lot longer of just standing there completely petrified, Ava just begins sprinting blindly towards where the lighthouse is.
Esmond, Shalati, you crest one of the hills, you see Kabeth in an alley, you see Ava running, you see just ash and bluish
I'm about to
debris.
do something too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Beth, seeing this happen, says, okay, this is it. And I'm going to attempt to jump onto a roof.
All right. Now, I won't even make you roll for that. You're so good at jumping.
Yeah. So I naturally have mirthful leaps as part of like my being a satyr.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to, when I make a jump, I get to roll a d8 and add the number rolled to the number of feet I can cover, even when making a standing jump. So how do you want to make this work with also if I'm trying to activate the magic brooch?
You succeed. Where are you trying to jump to?
I'm trying to jump onto a suitable roof nearby. I assume I'm like in an alley area.
Yeah, you're able easily. You leap even farther than you mean to. Boom! Up into the air. Boom! Land on the tallest rooftop in the area. Assuming you want to.
Yes. And I am going to once again try to attract the attention of this creature.
All right. What do you do to do that?
You think you can just kill all my friends and family? That's not cool. Bet you can't catch me. And she's going to start to try to run away down the roof.
All right. Which direction are you running?
The direction that makes the most sense, because I don't have a map.
Okay. I just mean just in orientation to everyone else. Are you heading away? You're heading away from the crowd. Are you heading away from Ava? Okay.
Yes.
So you're
headed
southeast. Just for orientation. Shalati, Esmond, you see this happen. You see Kabeth go bounding off, and you see the chicken falling over with its head.
Does it look like she is going faster than how fast I've seen the chicken run?
She's probably about the same speed as the chicken. It's pretty fast. If it's going full speed, it takes a little longer to turn than she does.
And she saw Ava going
north.
Running north. Okay. Shalati looks at Esmond and says, one with Ava, one with Kibeth. You go with Ava.
Okay. Don't get separated from one another. Okay. We'll figure something out. I'll come find you.
Shalati is going to circle sort of in the direction that Kibeth was going, but wants to. How close is the chicken at this point?
The two of you're probably a good 30 feet from it, kind of peeking over a rooftop. Kabeth is, that's like probably 60 feet from you, running south-ish. Yeah.
Okay, I think that Shalati will then just take off again. It's starting to flag now. There's been a lot of running and leaping and diving, but she is just going to run after Kibeth, but kind of angling so that she's
trying to intercept.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
As I'm.
Is the chicken follow me on rooftops or like following me?
It hasn't moved yet. I'm getting intentions from characters first.
Got it.
Esmond, where are you headed?
Chase after Ava, catch up with her, and keep moving north towards the lighthouse.
All right, you're moving to intercept Ava. You're still pretty far. Okay, so Shalati, you take off and run. Kabeth, you're moving kind of to the south. The chicken's watching Kabeth. Her plan is a good plan. She's fast. As fast as the chicken. And she's certainly more maneuverable. The only thing is, the chicken just fell for this plan. And doesn't fall for it again. It takes off from a fly from the rooftop, leaping through the air. Ava, you hear screams as the chicken comes down into the crowd right behind you. You see flashes of blue, arcs of lightning, bursts of people being rendered into ash as lightning kind of goes through the crowd. You can feel the chicken right behind you. You hear screams all around you.
I think Ava turns around. She was just sprinting, but the rumble of the earth and the shock of the crowd makes her turn around, and when she does, she sprawls, she trips and falls down. She spins over onto her back and starts to get up, realizing just how close this thing is. She looks around. She looks for anyone with a torch. Anyone with a torch.
Yeah, somebody's fallen on the ground right next to you. There's a torch burning in the road with arm's reach.
She runs and grabs the torch and pulls the bottle out of her hand, and then tries to smash the bottle on the cobblestone streets at the feet of, or close to where, in front of the creature, trying to get it, shatter it as close as she can to it.
Are you trying to hit it with it, or trying to splash it, or just have it in between you?
Splash it, basically.
Okay, give it a roll for how accurate Ava might be throwing this bottle and trying to get it to fly through the air and shatter and splash liquor onto this chicken.
Real bad.
It's a 5 on the die. Are you inspired?
Nope, not anymore.
All right. Roll just a d4 for me, if you would. Okay. Well, you get pretty lucky because you're short in your throw, and it crashes into the ground between you and the chicken, but does not splash the chicken.
Okay. She moves to the edge of it and stands at the edge between the shattered glass and the liquid and the chicken, and she's waving the torch in the same way that she saw Kabeth wave the broom earlier, and starts trying to shout, "Hey, hey, you ate friends. Oh, hey." And she can't think.
All right. Yeah. There on the other side of the pool of liquor, the chicken whips its head towards you and starts to raise and flap its wings, and you see a bluish light begin to build in its belly. It cranes its head, and then from the side, emerging from between two of the buildings, Miranda comes flying out, sliding across the ground, drives her rapier into the chicken. It squawks and flaps its wings, and she twists the rapier and then looks over at Ava and says, "Now you tell her I was a hero." The chicken cranes its head, and then a blast of lightning renders Miranda into ash, tearing through the building, setting it aflame. The chicken starts to tear forward, stomping on the ground where Miranda was. What do you do?
Ava, seeing this, takes a step back. Unintentionally, she drops the torch, takes another step back, and then her hands come to her face, and then she just, once again, just starts to run. She can't. She just runs towards the lighthouse.
Esmond, you've kind of reached the area. You see Ava stumbling, running. You see a building on flame. You saw Miranda get turned to ash.
What is the chicken currently doing? Did Miranda stab it with her sword?
Yeah, its rapier seems to have got sucked into it, and it's kind of like floating inside of it now. like a pudding. It's just tearing up the ground, the cobbled stones, where Miranda was just a moment ago. You know it won't be distracted here for long.
Oh, shit. Okay. And it's the chicken is standing directly between me and Ava currently.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be looking at either of you yet.
Esmond is going to pull the dagger that he had picked up from the caves. It's a piece of shit. It's rusted, but just brain completely fried without even thinking. He's going to his shocking grasp is going to activate with the dagger in hand, and he's going to charge the dagger and throw it, and then just kind of take off away from the chicken.
Just as the lightning begins to course into your hand, sparking through the dagger, charging through it, something grabs you from your side around your hip, holding onto your leg. It's Gwen, your mother. No! No! And she tries to pull you down. No.
Mom, I don't know what to do.
Live. Live.
He's gonna... Esmond is gonna grab his mom and take off down an alley.
Pick up with these, get running off. Kabeth, you've certainly noticed that you've lost this chicken. Turning back, you see Shalati sliding out an alley.
I'm still on a roof, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to run back towards where this is happening. Across roofs.
Okay. Do you go to Shalati, or do you go to where, like, the chicken is?
I'm going back towards the chicken.
Okay. Shalati, you see Kabeth go bounding off across the rooftops.
Yeah, I think once she saw the chicken start to turn away, she would have paused and waited to see for a moment to see if Kabeth's coming back, and then she starts to run back for the chicken as well. Now kind of just paralleling Kabeth.
Okay. We'll say the two of you get close enough where you're deciding whether to engage with this chicken or to talk, or whatever you want to do.
Can I jump down to talk to Shalati?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like jump down off the roof and land on the ground next to you. I'm holding my broom and I'm like, okay, it's not gonna follow us for long. What do we do?
Maybe at least we can distract it from other people. Even if it won't follow us, at least if we sing it or something. And she is still moving toward the chicken. I don't think she probably saw what had happened.
Did I see what happened from
Yes.
my vantage point? Okay. I turn Miranda into dust, and I don't want to be turned into dust too. What do we do? What do we do?
It is time. And she, yeah, I think it's distracted right now, or sort of scratching at the ground, right?
Yeah, it seems to be getting bored with what it's doing, feeling confident that it killed Miranda, but it hasn't yet seemed to move on and do anything else yet. But there's not much time until it will.
What if we throw rocks at it?
Do I still have my sling?
Who is here and who's not? I know I'm not, but
I didn't hear what you said.
Who is in the battle directly against the chicken? Who is here present?
Shalati, Kabeth, technically Ava, and Esmond, but Ava and Esmond are leaving.
Okay.
I think Charlotte looks at it and says, well, we can't just do nothing not while everybody's running and hiding. And maybe you're right. Does she still have her staff sling on her?
More than likely, you might have had to ditch that to be maneuverable enough to do the well thing.
Do I have a sling?
Yeah, we'll say you have a sling.
Okay. She is going to grab a chunk of rubble off the ground and wrap it around the sling and start spinning around her head and cast it toward the thing. How far away is the chicken?
We'll say 30, 40 feet from where you are now.
Okay. She is standing next to a building, so she says, Beep, I think if we can't outrun it and can't distract it, we just have to hide from it and try to keep annoying it. Or something.
Hey. I'm gonna run like 30 feet in a direction away from where Ava and everyone's is trying to, like the crowd, and I'm gonna go away from Charlotte, and I'm gonna pick up a rock or something, and I'm gonna chuck it at it as well from a different direction.
Okay, so yeah, Charlotte, you position with your sling. Kebeth, you've moved, you've picked up a good stone, good for throwing. It's just as you're about to throw it, you see that the chicken finishes doing whatever it was digging at the ground where Miranda was, but it doesn't turn and head off to the crowd. You see it flaps its wings, and then there's another kind of ruffling of its putting feathers, and you see it starts to stomp its way back towards the hearth, away from the group. Not with any kind of urgency at all.
Well, we gotta follow it. We gotta see where. Is there still people there? I assume we can't see the hearth from here.
Are there screams coming from the hearth?
You more than likely, as all this was happening, you probably had left that area already. You realize everyone's already fled from the hearth. It's empty now.
So it didn't respond to Charlotte's rubble being slung at it?
I didn't have you do it yet. You can still do that. I was just giving you information before you decide to do that.
You know, if it's turning away from us, I would definitely throw my rock. I assume Charlotte would still.
You tell me.
If it looked like it was turning away, if she wasn't in mid-swing already, then she would have paused and waited to see what it was doing.
Sure. Yeah, just to give you information, it seems to have abandoned its pursuit of Ava and that group of people, and without any kind of urgency, it's now walking towards the hearth.
Can I see where Kebeth went to? Because if so, then she's going to try to look with her.
Yeah, we'll say you guys can see each other across the street.
Should I go see if somebody's still there?
You just mouth this since you probably can't see, and then she keeps the sling in the rock, but she's going to duck behind a building and go carefully after it.
Okay, keeping your distance.
I'm going to try to get ahead of it.
Okay, yeah, you go bounding off through the alleys. You reach the hearth pretty quickly-ish. It's empty, no one's there. You see the blue glow of the chicken approaching.
I'm going to duck behind something and hide to watch what it does.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of duck into some debris. You see the chicken steps on a building and it kind of gets crushed. And it not the building, not the chicken. And then the chicken keeps walking forward, smashing through one of the old merchant stalls and reaches the hearth. You see it kind of ruffles up its feathers, flaps its wings. It lifts its head, and there's a blast of lightning that arcs up into the air, flaps its wings again, and it kind of seems to settle down and roost on top of the hearth.
Fucking laying eggs. I think it'll be the best jelly eggs ever.
I look around to make sure nobody else is like in the area. No one else is like coming, right?
It doesn't look like the way. The hearth's been abandoned. Everyone ran from this area.
Okay. Well, it's settling down. That's something. I've got to go find. Oh God, I'm gonna start running back towards to find Charlotte and see where Ez went and my friends.
All right, it's back in the east. The grass is aflame. Looks like a lot of people have escaped safely up towards the barn. If you have remained behind, field kind of is on fire. It'll probably stay isolated kind of to this square of farmland, you would guess. What do you do?
No active puddings are coming at us.
You don't see any yet. You know they're out there. Maybe they burned up in the flames. Maybe they didn't.
Anyone to come do a perimeter with me? Make sure that none of them turn into flaming ones and are going to set fire elsewhere. She's thinking of the
Oh no, I think
the one that took out the bakery.
Yeah, I'll watch with you.
Yeah, so we'll say the siblings and stuff like that have been deposited at the barn. Seifert, you can stay with them or come with the others, kind of up to you. So Salinger, Casey, Peach, Araya, Seifert, if you guys want to participate in the scene, you can.
So all of the siblings, so all of the children, and also my dad and Kebeth's dad are all in the barn.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I will say, she was headed back and forth between the barn and your home looking for people, and you run into her, and she is also in the barn now.
Okay, so all of my people are in the barn. But are any of my friends in the barn?
No.
Not a single one.
I don't believe so. Depends who you consider your friends, but...
None of the party, but several of us are around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're on slime watch.
Yeah.
And we'll say you guys are currently all just outside.
We're next to the barn.
Well, some people, like Casey's, I think, was still in the field. So I think you guys are kind of in the general area, but, you might not be exactly the same place. Casey, are you there? We might have lost him. He's back.
Hey, he didn't move too far from where he set the fire, but hearing Peach recommended perimeter kind of.
Oh no.
He turns this. Yeah, they might try to move away from the fire as well. We should make 2 groups to go around each side.
I mean, all I can hear is Peach is right. Do exactly what she says. You're breaking up really bad, Isaac. We can't hear anything.
Yeah, dang.
1 sec.
Okay. We're going to end here just a second.
You froze with a great eyebrow thing going on. So
that's true. Quality eyebrow.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Casey hasn't moved far from where he set the flames, but hearing Peach recommend a perimeter check snaps him out of it, and he turns and says, yeah, you're right. They might try to flee the flames as well. We should search around this section, maybe 2 groups, 1 to go each way.
2 groups sounds good.
Yeah.
Sal, you want to come with me and Araya?
Well, that's all the weapons all in one spot.
Oh, I don't have a weapon anymore.
We have a broom.
Mops.
Oh, I count this as a very effective weapon.
I mean, doesn't Yev have something?
Yev has a shovel. Yeah, I was guarding the people at the barn, though.
Well, Casey, I feel real bad that I took your sword away from you. So here you go. And she'll shove her mop into his hand. I'm sure Araya will protect me.
See you on the other side then.
It's just as you've handed off the mop that you see the flames in the grass begin to swirl, get sucked inward until there's just embers, flames extinguished, embers floating in the air. You see something glowing in the grass, and they converge, and you see what seems to be a pudding, but it's a fox. It's partially on fire. It seems to look at the group of you, and then it turns and starts dashing away. Incredible speed.
Well, that's probably really bad.
Did it seem thoughtful to you?
How in the world did it become? Aren't we?
It looked like it was just browsing for a moment.
A firefox.
Yeah, fire rock. I don't want to steal the zinger or anything, but I'm like, is this it? Are we gonna leave it here? Or should we try to go after this box? Is this the end scene?
No, if you have a zinger.
No, I don't have a zinger, but I was saying is this the last bit, or should we say, oh, I will chase this box?
Well, you can decide later, because for the moment, that's where we end for tonight. It seems, at least for the moment, Shepherd's End belongs to the puddings.
They're so mean.
Pudding fox? We haven't even seen a
we
fox
inevitably doomed home village?
God, I know.
So
No.
Oh no, you're
not coming through.
The camera seems to be upset with you.
It seems as though Discord has a natural defense against puns now.
No.